Chapter 51:16. Lin Xian squinted his eyes as he looked at the people in front of him. Let's do as they say. Hand over all your storage rings and treasures and you can live. Otherwise you'll go to hell. The moment he said that, the Lei Han tribe's faces changed. They didn't hesitate to rob because their resources were running out. Now that they had to hand over all their remaining resources, wouldn't that be asking for their lives? They hesitated. Yunyu snorted. What? Mister has already spared your lives and you still dare to resist? Do you want to die? We don't dare. The Lei Han tribe shook their heads. If they angered Yunyu, none of them would be able to live. Old Zhang said, quickly hand over your storage ring and all the treasures on you. In the end, the dark red divine dragon collected the mountain of treasures and storage rings and went back in high spirits. The Lei Han tribe looked at the back view of the group of people leaving and they cried in regret. This time they really kicked an iron plate. Ah, what a great harvest. What a surprise. The dark red divine dragon started to classify the storage rings and treasures. Even Lin Xian's lips curled up as he looked at Yunyu. Looks like you're famous. Yunyu lowered her head. She didn't dare to. Compared to Mr., her reputation was nothing. Mr. was the one who truly shocked the world. It was just that young master was elusive, and they had eyes but failed to recognize him. Lin Xian smiled. To be honest, he was surprised. With her identity, it would be hard for her to adapt to being a servant. However, Yunyu didn't seem to be bothered. It seemed like her desire to live was beyond his imagination. This way he could control her better. She better not play any tricks with him. Otherwise he would make her regret being born in this world. The group continued to fly. A month later the spiritual boat stopped. Yunyu looked ahead and said, "This is the territory of our lineage. Is that so? Then let's go." Lin Xian knew that as a top clan of the ancients, the core elders had their own territories. They even had many worlds in their hands. These were their powerful resources and foundations, but Lin Xian was not afraid. Lin Xian had witnessed a truly peerless battle. Back when the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty destroyed Spirit Realm, it was a battle like this. No matter how much power you have, no matter how many worlds you have, everything will be destroyed. Only personal strength was the most important thing. Lin Xian wanted to walk the same path. I don't care what family you're from or what power you're from, I'll break it all by myself. After flying for less than 2 days, the spirit boat was stopped again. Lin Xian frowned. The dark red godly dragon also said, I say, don't tell me you were robbed in your own clan's territory. Even Yunyu was furious this time. Who was so blind? She said, I'll go out and take a look. Young master, don't worry. Yunyu walked out and the dark red dragon followed closely behind. He was afraid that the other party would run away. After exiting, he discovered that there were 3 war chariots parked in front of him. Figures flickered on the chariot. One of the women walked over. Sister Yunyu, are you back? This woman was also very beautiful, and there was a rune between her eyebrows. She was also from the Twin of Destiny clan. Yunling, in such a big clan, the open and secret fights between each other were very terrifying. After all, no one wanted to be overshadowed by others. Moreover, status was related to resources. In a situation where one's talent was similar, the more resources one had, the better one's future achievements would be. Hence, in such a big clan, every genius was basically an enemy. Or rather, a sworn enemy. Previously, Yunyu's talent was unparalleled, and she suppressed the other geniuses until they couldn't raise their heads. Although everyone was angry, they didn't dare to show it. They could only smile every day and hope to curry favor with the other party. Now it was different. The patriarch personally asked Yunyu to go back. It was even related to the old ancestor going crazy, so they felt that this was an opportunity. Yunling, you dare to speak to me like this? Do you want to die? Yunyu's body emitted a biting cold aura. In the surroundings, the members of the Twin of Destiny clan were trembling. They wouldn't forget what kind of woman she was. She was simply a queen-like existence. Offending her would end up worse than death. Hence they trembled. Yunling, who was in front, sneered. You are really as arrogant as ever. But it's a pity that you are different from before. Do you still think that you are high and mighty in a goddess-like existence? It's useless. You have angered the patriarch and he will send you back. Now, grandfather has also received the order. You'd better follow me obediently. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that you won't be injured. After all, as long as you don't die, I will have completed my mission. Extremely sharp, killing intent bloomed in her eyes. She had long wanted to make a move on the other party. Now was a good opportunity. Yunyu was indeed mad. At the same time, she was shocked. It seemed that the family had already known the news. Were they going to make a move on her directly? Men suppressed them. Yunling waved her hand, and the powerhouses on the surrounding chariots all walked down. A terrifying aura enveloped Yunyu. Yunyu snorted coldly and struck out with her palm. 2 people were sent flying and their bodies were shattered. Yunling sneered. You dare to make a move? Men, you guys make a move too. She was really too happy. If the other party left obediently, this might be a misunderstanding. But now the other party directly made a move on the family members. This had already broken the rules. She could also make a move without any scruples. Seeing the surrounding people rushing over, Yunyu snorted coldly. The sacred sword and the devil's blade appeared in her hands, and she swept them in all directions. How could these people be her match? Soon they were sent flying. Even Yunling was trembling in fear. Damn it, what do you want to do? Do you dare to make a move on me? I am here on grandfather's orders. Do you want a rebel? Before he could finish speaking, he was sent flying with a slap. A handprint appeared on his handsome face. She screamed in horror. Damn it, how dare you make a move on me? I will fight it out with you. She also summoned the sacred sword and the devil's blade and attacked. But she was defeated in 3 moves. Her body was split into 2. No, Yunling screamed in horror. Was the difference really that big? She had always been unconvinced by Yunyu. But now it seemed that the other party was really too strong, far surpassing her. Yunyu snorted coldly. An ant like you dares to challenge me? No matter when, you are not my match. As she spoke, she destroyed the other party's soul with a sword. Everyone had died. Yunyu's expression was really ugly. At this moment, Lin Xian walked over and said, It seems like your Destiny Twins race has already started to make a move. Yes, young master, what should we do? We have to act quickly. Yunyu knew how terrifying the family was. Those who came were just some trash. Next, they would send out some experts. Chapter 51:17. Lin Xian said, Then let's move. I want the power of the Gemini. Bring me to it. As for you, you should need enough resources. We'll take what we need and leave here as soon as possible. Since she had decided to separate from the family, Yunyu would not hesitate. Having said that, besides the family headquarters, there were 4 other places with the power of the Gemini. They were given to the 4 core elders. My grandfather is from the 8th elder's line. He is one of them. In our family's ancestral hall, there are statues of the good and evil. Other than that, the rest of the elders are only worthy of enshrining paintings. I don't think the power of the paintings is good enough for you. Why don't you attack the 4 statues? Okay. Lin Xian's eyes shone. Let's go. As they spoke, they sped up. The black earth turned into an extremely cold black lightning. It quickly flew into the distance. At the same time, in the hall of this land, an elder stood there with a cold expression. There were many experts around him. They were all from the same line. At this moment, someone rushed over from afar with a broken jade pendant in his hand. The soul pendants of the people sent out were all broken, including Yunling's. No. A middle-aged man roared crazily. He was Yunling's father. Who would have thought that Yunling would also die? Damn it, Yunyu did it. Impossible. Another man roared crazily. He was Yunyu's father. He looked at the elder and said, Father, you would never betray the family. The elder in front was the 8th elder. He also sighed. I don't want him to betray the family, but the current situation is very strange. We have to find Yunyu and let him bring her to the patriarch. Otherwise, our line will be in danger. Men, attack. Send out the elite forces to bring Yunyu back. Ensure Yunyu's safety. At the same time, kill everyone around him. Yes. After receiving the order, the surrounding people began to move. Yunling's father, Yun Xiao, personally led the men and quickly moved out. Not long after they left the mansion, they stopped. Because they discovered that there was a terrifying bolt of lightning in the distance and then stopped in the air. It was a spirit boat. In the next moment, they saw a few figures walk out of the spirit boat. When they saw it, they were extremely shocked. Yun Xiao gave a cold smile. It seems like I don't need to look for it. The news was immediately relayed by the guards below. 8th Elder Fairy Yunyu has returned. So fast? The 8th Elder was surprised. Lord Yun Xiao had not gone out yet. Fairy Yunyu had returned on her own. There were 3 people following him. Hearing this, the expressions of the experts in the hall changed. Was he really being threatened by someone? Who were those 3 people? What kind of aura did he have? The bodyguard said that he didn't know. For now, everything was unclear. Among them were 2 demonic beasts and a youngster. What? Everyone around him was stunned. From their point of view, these 3 people should be unparalleled experts or super almighties. After all, it was only because of the other party that they had such means. But now, there were actually young people. What was going on? Let's go out and take a look. These people walked outside. At the same time, Yun Xiao snorted coldly and attacked. Yun Yu kept him alive and suppressed him. As for the rest, kill them without mercy. The experts of the Fate clan rushed over in an overwhelming manner. Some of them were covered in holy light and struck out with terrifying holy swords. Holy light. Some were as terrifying as demons. They attacked from all directions. There were vengeful spirits from hell. All kinds of attacks came from all directions. Damn, you want to kill us? Do you want to attack? Lin Xian said with a cold expression. Tech, don't hold back. Since he had been discovered by the other party, he wouldn't be polite. Thinking of this, he waved his hand and punched forward. The terrifying power, along with terrifying flames, directly rushed over. More than 10 experts in front were pierced. Their bodies were enveloped by flames and turned into ashes. He was actually so powerful. The surrounding people of the Destiny clan were stunned. Who was this young man? Even Yun Xiao was shocked. The other party killed more than 10 experts with a single punch. He could be considered the top among the younger generation. But so what? This was their territory. Even if he was a dragon, he had to coil. He roared and more experts rushed over. At the same time, he also rushed over. The toad roared angrily and spat out poison all over the sky. Wherever it passed, the Destiny clan's people's blood boiled and their faces turned black. Many fell from the sky and screamed miserably. Although they wouldn't die, this feeling of hovering between life and death still drove them crazy. The dark red divine dragon was even more terrifying. He summoned the dragon saber and slashed in all directions. Although the Destiny clan was incomparably terrifying, they were not immortal. Only the top experts were difficult to kill, such as others like Yun Yu. Although they had also cultivated the good and evil twins. But with Lin Xian's methods and absolute arts, it wasn't a problem to kill these people. Not long after, there were mountains of corpses around. Many members of the Destiny Gemini clan died, and the others were extremely terrified when they saw this. Damn it, I'll fight it out with you. Yun Xiao also shouted angrily. These subordinates were all carefully trained by him. He charged towards Lin Xian and condensed a holy palm. It was like the hand of an angel that descended mercilessly. Lin Xian shouted angrily and punched out the six-paths fist to contend with the other party. With a boom, an earth-shattering sound rang out and Lin Xian was forced back. On the other side, Yun Zhao's entire arm split open, and half of his body turned into a bloody mist. Damn it, why is he so strong? Yun Xiao went crazy. Who is he? He was about to become a saint, but he couldn't do anything to the other party. The power of the other party's punch was too terrifying. Damn it. Which force is it? Is it the great emperor's family? While he was hesitating, Lin Xian and the others had already charged forward. Since they made a move, they wouldn't passively defend. The dark red divine dragon and the toad took the lead. The toad used poison. The dark red divine dragon's dragon blade slashed in all directions. In addition to Little White's dizziness, these people charged forward and directly killed a bloody path. Ah, satisfying. I haven't fought for a long time. The toad spat out poison and laughed loudly. The dark red divine dragon also snorted coldly. I'll let you see my strength. A dragon blade was enough to break through everything. As for Whitey, it appeared and disappeared mysteriously and collected all the storage rings of these fallen people. Yeah, baby, there are spirit fruits inside. This is not good. He complained as he picked them up, making the surrounding people vomit blood. Yun Xiao shouted angrily and charged towards the three of them. Lin Xian stopped them with a sword. Wanna leave? Your opponent is me. Chapter 51:18. Damn brat, you dare to look down on me? Yun Xiao was also angry. As a strong warrior of the generation, how could he be scared away by a young man? He roared and waved his hand. A black hell lightning struck forward. Accompanying it was a cold shout. I will let you know my true strength. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the Hellfire Dragon sword appeared in his hand. With a slash, the terrifying lightning was shattered. What a terrifying divine sword. It seemed to be an incredible sacred weapon. After killing you, this thing will be mine. Just nice for my evil son. Yun Xiao roared angrily and summoned two phantoms. The virtuous and evil son, especially the evil son, had an extremely sharp radiance in their eyes. Their palms were constantly forming seals. Hell hand. The terrifying palm grabbed towards Lin Xian, wanting to tear him into pieces. Lin Xian was calm. Shadowless Skynet God came out of ghost silence and dodged the attack. At the same time he slashed out with his sword. Azura sword art. With a poochie sound, the evil sun behind him was split open. Yun Xiao was also sent flying while vomiting blood. One of his arms was missing. Lin Xian attacked again. Demon God Sun. Yun Xiao's heart was split open, and his entire head was split into pieces. After being heavily injured, Yun Xiao roared towards the sky. He was like a wild beast that had gone mad. The terrifying virtuous sun shot down a holy radiance to repair his body. At the same time he roared, "Men, kill him for me." In an instant, 9 experts rushed over. 9 against 1, causing the Destiny clan members who were watching from afar to laugh coldly. No matter how strong this brat was, he was no match for them. Lin Xian snorted. With the fire dragon sword in his hand, he opened and closed. The biting cold sword aura became a fatal blow, and people fell one after another. At the same time, his demonic aura filled the sky and condensed around him, forming the demon god seal. It was as big as a mountain and it kept falling. Every strike would break an expert. Lin Xian attacked aggressively, and his body was covered in blood. All of it was the blood of his opponents. In the blink of an eye, 9 experts fell. Yun Xiao was heavily injured again. His body was split into 2. Damn it. He fled into the distance. You want to leave? Lin Xian chased after him. The dark red divine dragon and the little white toad also entered the mansion below. After entering, some of the elders were furious. You're courting death. Activate the formation for me. Although the previous battle was intense, it only happened in an instant. By the time they reacted, many experts on their side had already fallen. This made them angry. They wanted to help, but Yun Xiao fled back. Shortly after, Lin Xian and the others landed in the mansion. After entering, they naturally wouldn't let the other party escape. They wanted the other party to know the consequences of provoking them. All of a sudden, the surrounding formations and blazing flames swept across the 9 heavens like the flames of the gods. There were even angel feathers falling from the sky, turning into a rain of light. It could penetrate and purify everything. There were also some formations that were like vengeful spirits from hell. It was as if there were 18 levels of hell, terrifying beyond compare. These terrifying formations covered the sky as they bombarded Lin Xian and the others. In an instant they felt a huge pressure. They even began to retreat and vomit blood. The dark red divine dragon roared. Damn it, he used his ancient scripture and began to change the spirit veins under the ground. The formations in the 2 areas collided with each other. Endless cracks appeared in the mansion, and many palaces and pavilions were destroyed. Some people were even torn to pieces by the power. Lin Xian attacked fiercely. Every time his sword fell, it would split heaven and earth. In the end, those formations were also shattered. There were mountains of corpses and seas of blood around them. A group of people stood there with cold expressions. The people of the Fate clan opposite them were stunned. How was it possible? They had already used the family's formation, but they still couldn't do anything to the other party? These people were too frightening. Behind them, Yunyu was also shocked when she saw this scene. One had to know that the power of their family was also very powerful. Even she would be seriously injured by such a lineup. However, the other party was not injured at all. Instead, they fought more and more bravely. Fortunately, she cooperated obediently before. Otherwise, she would probably end up in a miserable state. In front of them, the 8th elder's face was gloomy. Those who died were the elites of their family. His heart was bleeding. Who are you? Tell us where you are from? The people around them were also filled with killing intent. Someone said, Elder, why are you talking nonsense with him? Just kill him. Yes, no matter where he is from, he will definitely die if he dares to fight in our territory. 8th elder, please help. 8th elder, please help. Angry shouts sounded one after another. Yun Xiao was also half kneeling on the ground and roaring crazily. The other man was Yun Yu's father. He frowned and said to the 8th elder, Father, Yun Yu is outside but he didn't come over. Could it be that he is being controlled by someone? The 8th elder glanced at Yun Yu and snorted coldly. You must be being controlled. Otherwise, why would she betray the family? Kill this kid and then talk about Yun Yu. He looked at Lin Xian and an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You are the 8th elder, the boss of this mansion? If that's the case, then you can die. Lin Xian waved his hand and slashed out with the Hellfire Dragon sword. After killing the opponent, these people of the Fate clan would be leaderless. At that time, he would be able to obtain the power of the good and evil children. You are courting death. The people around him roared. The 8th elder's face was even colder. Is this guy courting death? Or am I? I am an expert of the older generation. How can this guy challenge me? Thinking of this, he snorted coldly and threw out a punch. With a clang, this punch directly knocked away the sword chi. At the same time he sneered. Young man, if you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. The eighth elder released an extremely terrifying aura. Great, the eighth elder is making a move. That kid is dead for sure. Of course, the eighth elder's strength was terrifying. The eighth elder was only one step away from becoming a saint. However, with his combat strength he could definitely fight those above his level. Exclamations sounded one after another. The eighth elder's face was cold, but he snorted coldly in his heart. He wasn't just one step away. He was a real saint. However, he had to worship the good and evil children, so he left a part of his strength in the ancestral hall. Therefore, the cultivation that he currently displayed was not that of a saint. However, with the strength that he currently possessed, he could deal with the opponent. This time he had to capture the other party and destroy the other party's soul. Behind him, Yunyu's face turned ugly when she saw this scene. She knew how terrifying her grandfather was. He could be said to be unfathomable. Chapter 51:19. At this moment, Yunyu began to worry about Lin Xian. If Lin Xian was suppressed, then she wouldn't end up well either. Although she wouldn't die, she would probably lose her freedom from then on. She would become the ancestor's puppet for the rest of her life. At the end of the phone. Young Master Lin, everything depends on you. Kid, did you see that? Your attack couldn't even withstand a single blow from me. With the next move, I'll make you wish you were dead. After the eighth elder slapped away the sword energy, he said coldly. He took another step forward, and an endless golden light appeared in his hand, as if it was the hand of an immortal. Divine hand. This move had been used by countless people of the Destiny clan. Even Yunyu had used it before, but it was far inferior to the eighth elders. The eighth elder's divine hand seemed to be the palm of the god of the sky. Moreover, the power of the attack had reached its peak. This move had even sealed off all of Lin Xian's escape routes. It could be said that he was very experienced. Under this palm, the kid would definitely not be able to withstand it. That was for sure. No matter how strong he was, he wouldn't be able to compete with an elder like the eighth elder. Around them, the people of the Destiny clan sneered. They wanted to see the fall of the other party with their own eyes. With a boom, Lin Xian was torn into pieces. That's great. The members of the Twin of Destiny clan laughed. However, the eighth elder frowned. Was it an afterimage? He glanced in all directions and suddenly slapped back. It was the divine hand again. With a clang, the palm landed on the Hellfire Dragon sword, causing endless sparks to erupt from it. The Hellfire Dragon sword retreated, and the eighth elder's arm also trembled. What's going on? He was shocked and took a deep breath. The opponent's sword energy was so sharp. Not only that, the sword in the opponent's hand was actually an extremely powerful sacred weapon. Thinking of this, he shouted angrily, "Kid, your weapon is mine." An evil person appeared behind him. It had a green face and fangs, looking extremely ferocious, and directly pounced on Lin Xian. He wanted to snatch Lin Xian's Hellfire Dragon sword. Get lost. Lin Xian shouted coldly. 9 sun phantoms appeared around him and enveloped his opponent. It formed a boundary space. The evil child let out a miserable roar as smoke rose from his body. He tumbled between heaven and earth, screaming and retreating. Soon half of his body shattered. The eighth elder's expression changed. This was his illusion. Now that he was injured, he was also affected. Damn it, the flames of extreme yang. Virtuous children together. Behind him, the virtuous one who was as divine as an immortal rushed over. His body shone with endless radiance as if an immortal had descended. It withstood the terrifying flames. At the same time, he struck out with his palm as if he wanted to seal the Hellfire Dragon sword. Lin Xian roared angrily as he brandished his Hellfire Dragon sword. At the same time, his demonic aura filled the sky. Demonic God Seal. A huge seal enveloped heaven and earth, suppressing the virtuous child. At the same time, it transformed into a demonic god. The great spear of destruction swept out, piercing through the evil child. The battle was extremely intense. The good and evil children were destroyed one after another. Then they regrouped again. Those people in the distance were stunned. This brat was actually able to contend with the eighth elder. It was too unbelievable. The eighth elder's expression was also cold. The other party's means were beyond his expectations. He was even more terrifying than his granddaughter, Yunyu. This was a genius that he had never seen before. In his opinion, the other party who had such means definitely had an extraordinary background. He said, "Which emperor's son are you?" In the eighth elder's opinion, only the emperor's son had such combat strength. The surrounding people also exclaimed, "Oh God, is he really an emperor's son? Things are not good. Is a great emperor's family going to attack us?" Their expressions became terrified. After all, in this world, the great emperor's family was the most terrifying. A frog at the bottom of a well, do you only know the emperor's son? I'm not an existence that you can imagine. Lin Xian said coldly. Kid, I'll suppress you and take your soul. Naturally, I'll know who you are. The eighth elder snorted coldly and attacked again. His hands surrounded the illusions of the virtuous and evil children. It was so overwhelming that it made one's scalp tingle. Lin Xian sneered. Don't you want to know who I am? I'll let you see my divine power. Endless dragon-shaped illusions appeared beside him. He originally had the bloodline of the 10,000 dragons, but at this moment he was using the power of the great dragon sword soul to evolve it. Tens of thousands of dragons rolled between heaven and earth. Lin Xian shouted coldly. True Dragon 9 revolutions. The bodies of those dragons rotated. Every time they rotated, their power would become stronger. It was as if the entire world was about to be torn apart. In the surroundings, the people of the Twin of Destiny clan vomited large mouthfuls of blood and kept retreating. Their expressions became terrified. Dragon. What a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons. Is he a member of the Dragon clan? 10,000 Dragons Court. Who are you? The eighth elder also shouted angrily. This is the divine power of a great emperor. Could it be that you are the Dragon Prince? Is he really stunned? Lin Xian sneered and didn't answer. The true Dragon 9 revolutions charged out, beating the eighth elder until he kept retreating and vomiting blood. The eighth elder shouted angrily and fought. The tens of thousands of dragon shadows were also torn into pieces. The battle between the two sides was extremely intense. When the terrifying dragon shadows disappeared, Lin Xian attacked again. He became one with the sword. With a sword, he split the body of the eighth elder. At the same time, monstrous demonic energy appeared again. It's useless. The eighth elder shouted angrily, and the entire mansion shook violently. The good and evil suns kept growing bigger and bigger. They were tens of thousands of feet tall and charged towards Lin Xian. Suppress them. Lin Xian shouted angrily, but his expression was cold. Demon summoning scripture. A hazy demonic shadow appeared behind him, and then he slapped out with his palm. Demon God Seal. The last time he summoned the demonic shadow, he used the demon god's finger, which shattered flawless 100 Miles' bloodline technique. This time, the demon god seal unleashed by the demon shadow was able to suppress everything. A terrifying power erupted between heaven and earth, and the surrounding sky and earth collapsed. The powerhouses of the Destiny clan who were close were all torn apart and turned into a bloody mist. No. Yun Xiao also wanted to escape, but under this attack he also disappeared into thin air. He let out an unwilling roar. He didn't expect that he would die like this. The others retreated frantically. Looking at this scene, their scalps went numb. What kind of method was this? What was that demonic shadow? Damn it. The eighth elder shouted angrily and attacked crazily. The two figures collided with the demon god seal. A storm swept between heaven and earth. The destructive power made everyone's heart tremble. The phantoms of the good and evil suns collapsed. Endless cracks also appeared on the eighth elder's body, and it suddenly split open. No. He fled frantically into the distance. Under this attack, the mansion where the eighth elder was completely overturned. Countless people turned into a bloody mist. When the cloud of dust dissipated, the eighth elder had already disappeared. Was he dead? Countless people were horrified. They knelt on the ground. Lin Xian frowned and looked into the distance. The other party was not dead. The top powerhouses of the Destiny clan were indeed difficult to kill. However, he didn't care. Because he had already seen that in the entire mansion, the only thing that was still intact was an ancient palace. Chapter 51:20. Was the eighth elder defeated? The surrounding people couldn't believe it. They knelt on the ground. This was the strongest expert in their clan. How terrifying was his strength. But now he was seriously injured and fled. They felt like they were dreaming. Damn it, I don't believe it. Yun Yu's father, who was also the middle-aged man, was terrified. He kept shaking his head. He couldn't accept it. Even Yun Yu was stunned. She knew how terrifying her grandfather was. But now he had actually been defeated. Had Lin Xian become so terrifying now? Thinking of this, she took a deep breath and walked forward. She stood in the sea of blood. The bones around her were all crushed by her. The other experts of the Twin of Destiny clan were also shocked when they saw this scene. Even the middle-aged man shouted angrily, Kill him quickly. You can do it. Only you can do it." The others also regained their hope. Yunyu was a top genius. She could fight above her level. She was even more terrifying than the older generation experts. If the other party attacked, they might have a chance. Yunyu stood there and ignored her father. Instead, she looked at Lin Xian and said, "Young master, the ancestral hall is in front. The thing you want is inside." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. What's going on? Yunyu actually stood on the enemy's side. Damn it, what's going on? Did Yunyu betray them? The middle-aged man in front was covered in blood. He roared crazily. Do you know what you are doing? Are you betraying the clan? Kill him quickly." Yunyu looked at the middle-aged man and said coldly, "My life was given by young Master Lin. This time I was the one who led young master here." The middle-aged man collapsed. This was impossible. His daughter actually did such a thing. He couldn't accept it. The other people also roared crazily. A few of them wanted to assassinate him. In the end, they were killed by Lin Xian with a finger. The surrounding people were once again beaten by this force until they vomited blood. No one could resist it. Why did you do this? The clan nurtured you with all its strength. You actually betrayed the clan." The middle-aged man roared crazily. Yunyu was expressionless. She sighed. My good father, do you really not know? That's right, with your talent and strength, you shouldn't be qualified to know. But I think my grandfather should know. Let me tell you why. Some of the top geniuses of our Destiny Gemini clan will be brought to the ancestral hall and planted with their soul avatars by our ancestors. That's right, this soul avatar can protect you and save your life at the most critical moment. That person quickly said. Yunyu laughed after hearing this. Her eyes were filled with madness. Save my life? Earlier, when I was in a state of life and death, I summoned the old ancestor's clone. But did he save my life? It is burning my life, it is sucking my strength. I am the soil in order to strengthen his clone. One day, his clone will devour me and come out again. Do you think the family is doing all they can to nurture me? These words were almost like a crazy roar. The Nian was stunned when he heard this. Impossible? He shook his head frantically. Why would the family harm these geniuses? Yunyu scoffed. I don't believe it either, but it really happened to me. Moreover, our family has had more than one genius mysteriously disappear. I think they were devoured by the clone. Since the family wants to use me as a puppet, then don't blame me. Yunyu took a deep breath and a biting cold light appeared in her eyes. She looked at Lin Xian and said, Young Master Lin, you go to the ancestral hall. I will go and collect the other resources. Young Master Lin, you must be fast. Otherwise, the family headquarters will send experts. After saying this, Yunyu began to search in all directions. She wanted to collect endless resources. It would be easier to use in the future. Lin Xian, on the other hand, narrowed his eyes as he looked ahead. Ancestral hall? He walked forward. The ancestral hall was simple and primitive. It was a little gray. Actually, Lin Xian didn't know that the ancestral hall here was almost the same as the Destiny Gemini headquarters. It was just that this one was bigger. After entering, the light was a little dim. There seemed to be a layer of fog between heaven and earth. It was impossible to see clearly. Suddenly, the door of the ancestral hall closed. The surroundings were completely dark. A terrifying aura swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian felt that his life was being taken away. He snorted coldly. He knew that this place wouldn't be so simple. So he was prepared. An extremely terrifying flame appeared on his body, shining in all directions. 9 suns stood between heaven and earth, and the surroundings were instantly illuminated. The darkness also disappeared quickly like the sea. Lin Xian found that there was a statue in front of him. The statue was half black and half white. The statue began to split from half of its body to 2 sides. One side was pitch black and ferocious like a demon, while the other side was holy like an angel. The demon held a death scythe in his hand, and the angel held a purification bottle in his hand. Both eyes erupted with an extremely terrifying light, staring at Lin Xian. Stupid thing, how dare you have ideas about us? Kneel down obediently and accept your death. The voice carried an extremely strong power, as if a god was looking down on the common people. Lin Xian also felt the suppression. He snorted coldly and a golden light flickered in his eyes. The great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and an indestructible will seemed to pierce through the sky. He stood there like a sword god and shouted coldly. I need your strength. Obediently contribute it to me. Otherwise, don't blame me for shattering your statue. You want my power? Just you? The statue laughed. The good and evil spirits were full of disdain. Stupid thing, do you know what kind of existence you are facing? Lin Xian also said coldly. Aren't you just some remnant souls? Didn't you know when I swept through the 8th Elder's residence? Since you know why you didn't come out, it means that you have some limitations. With your strength, you can't get out of this ancestral hall. So, you are just a remnant soul that is struggling at death's door. You are just a remnant soul and you want to do anything to me? Lin Xian waved his hand, and a Taiji diagram appeared in his hand and kept spinning. Taiji, you actually have the power of yin and yang? The good and evil statue in front of him roared crazily. Lin Xian was stunned after hearing that. You actually know Taiji. He was also surprised. He had obtained this thing by chance. Very few people knew it. Everyone only knew yin and yang but not Taiji. However, this good and evil statue actually knew it. Where did you see it? He said coldly. The statue snorted. It's useless if you still want to lie to me. After killing you, the power in Taiji will be ours. Chapter 51-21. The good and evil statues turned into 2 gusts of wind, as if they were from 2 different worlds, and they pressed down on Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered and used Shadowless Heaven's net. His movement technique was very strange and he disappeared in an instant. The power of 2 different worlds pressed down on him. Lin Xian's figure had long disappeared, and he appeared in another direction. In the next moment he roared. A terrifying sword light bloomed, and with an indestructible power, it slashed forward. The sword chi shot into the sky. Useless kid, you're no match for us. The good and evil statue roared and stretched out 2 palms, one of which was light. The other was darkness. One hand grabbed at the sword chi and the other grabbed at Lin Xian. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard, and the 2 big hands of the good and evil statue retracted. They roared crazily. Damn it, what kind of sword technique is this? They were really shocked. There were actually 2 cracks on the 2 palms. How dare you destroy my Dharma idol? He roared crazily. It was too unbelievable. His statue was not casually built. It was his Dharma idol that was combined with extremely precious heaven and earth treasures to condense into a statue. Moreover, it received countless worship and offerings every day, and it could be said that it contained endless power. In the Hall of Poetry he was like a ruler. No matter who came, they couldn't do anything to him. Now that a young man had come in his eyes, the other party was an ant that would definitely die. It would be easy for him to kill the other party. However, the current situation was beyond his expectations. The other party's sword chi actually injured him and he couldn't tolerate it. Lin Xian snorted coldly. I told you you're just a remnant soul struggling at death's door. How can you compete with me? Lin Xian looked around and released an extremely terrifying sword chi shaking the world. It was as if the entire ancestral hall was about to be shattered. He waved the Hellfire Dragon sword and slashed over. There was a dragon-shaped sword chi on the Hellfire Dragon sword, erupting with endless power. The 2 different worlds in front of him were also constantly shattering. What a powerful sword. The pupils of the good and evil statue constricted. One of the good ones rushed over and blocked in front of him. If I don't enter hell, who will? With a boom, countless cracks appeared on his body, and then he turned into nothingness. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the evil brat fled to the other side. His face was cold and his eyes flickered. Beside him, the virtuous child reformed, and the gaze on it became somewhat dim. Brat, you actually dared to injure my foundation. How despicable. However, you won't be able to kill me. I'll show you the power that I've gained over the years. With an angry roar, the surroundings became dark again. At the same time, countless star-like lights lit up and enveloped the entire ancestral hall. Every ray of light turned into a terrifying rune. Lin Xian furrowed his brows tightly as he sensed a vast and terrifying energy that resembled the starry sky of the universe. He felt like he was about to collapse. What is this? He was astonished. He had never seen such power before. Up ahead, the good and evil statue sneered. This was the power of sacrifice. For so many tens of thousands of years, I have been accepting the sacrifices of the twins of destiny here every year. Every year they would display top-notch treasures of heaven and earth. Then he would kneel 3 times and kowtow 9 times to me. In their eyes, I am their god, their ancestor. Therefore they are willing to worship me and constantly absorb the power of these treasures of heaven and earth. They also absorb the power of worship in their eyes. After accumulating for countless years, this is an extremely terrifying power. I can use it to sweep through everything. What can you use to fight me? After saying that, he snorted coldly, and the star-like runes around him bloomed with light. A vast amount of power surged out. Lin Xian kept retreating, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Cracks appeared on his body in an instant, and golden dragon blood flowed out. His face was pale. Was he injured? He was shocked. With his physique, this power was indeed terrifying to be able to injure him in an instant. Brat, did you see that? You can't compete with me at all. The good and evil statue waved his hand again. The power erupted and Lin Xian's body was blasted into pieces. Ah! The good and evil statue laughed proudly. Lin Xian's broken body quickly retreated and reformed in the distance. A battle armor appeared on his body. It was an illusion that enveloped him. On it there was an extremely terrifying life force. The immortal indestructible battle armor. Lin Xian's broken body recovered, but his expression was somewhat cold. This power was indeed very strong. However, he was extremely happy. Such a terrifying power was even stronger than the power of 10 worlds. This really surprised me. It seems that this is an unexpected gain. I have to thank you all. He was really too happy. Originally, he only came to find the power of yin and yang to strengthen the Taiji diagram. Now that he had so much power, if he could obtain this power, then the sword world would undergo earth-shattering changes. How could he not be happy? On the other side, the good and evil statue was indeed stunned. You are thanking me? Could it be that you want this vast power? What a joke. Do you know what you are saying? Only I can control this power. You are helpless in front of him. Go to hell. It seemed that the good and evil statue was really angry. The entire ancestral hall shook violently. The star runes between heaven and earth flickered, and the terrifying killing intent rose to the extreme. Then each star rune formed a sword of slaughter. There were tens of thousands of swords that completely shattered the void. The immortal indestructible battle armor on Lin Xian's body instantly shattered, and cracks appeared on his body again. Too powerful. If it was anyone else, they would not be able to resist at all. Even he had to use his super powerful trump card. With a cold snort, he used the heaven-swallowing jar. An endless vortex appeared and enveloped him. It devoured the surrounding star swords. Useless kid, no matter how strong you are, you can't devour them. I have endless power. The good and evil statue sneered. If you die, your yin and yang taiji will be mine. He rushed over with an unstoppable force, like a hot knife through butter. Even the devouring vortex could not completely devour the power on his body. In an instant he arrived in front of Lin Xian and stretched out his hands. On the left he grabbed Lin Xian's shoulder while on the right he grabbed Lin Xian's head. It was all over. As long as he used a little bit of strength, the young man in front of him would be torn apart. Sensing this terrifying aura, Lin Xian did not dodge at all. Instead, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. You are still smiling when you are about to die. Stupid thing. The good and evil statue snorted. However, he had a bad feeling in his heart. What was going on? Normally, even top experts would be terrified when they met him. What was going on with the other party's smile? Could it be that he really had some kind of trump card? He shouted coldly and exerted strength in his arms. A terrifying power enveloped Lin Xian. However, in the next moment he found that the world around him was spinning. He was no longer in his ancestral hall. Chapter 51-22. Kid, do you think it'll work if you spread out your domain and envelop me in it? You're too naive. Your sacred domain can't do anything to me. The good and evil statue snorted coldly when he realized that the scene around him had changed drastically. Watch me shatter your sacred domain. He slapped out with his sacred palm. This palm was vast and boundless, and it could shatter the 9 heavens and 10 earths. However, after he slapped out, the entire world didn't even have wind. It seemed to be terrifyingly quiet. What's going on? He was stunned. Fantasy, this must be an illusion. Shatter. He attacked again. It was as if the sacred world and the infernal world attacked together. They kept bombarding. However, it didn't shatter at all. This time, the good and evil statue really collapsed. What kind of world is this? Won't it shatter? One had to know that his full-powered attack just now was enough to shatter a world of stars into pieces. However, that was not the case at all. However, this place didn't move at all. What kind of place is this? His face was cold as he stared ahead. He shouted coldly. Kid, where did you teleport me to? This is my world and I welcome you to come. Lin Xian said with a smile. Your world? What kind of joke is this? You have such a mysterious stellar world? He felt that this buried emperor star was a bit mysterious. Hurry up and leave this place. The evil son said. The good son nodded. They soared into the sky, and the light that erupted from their bodies seemed to tear the 9 heavens apart. However, they were in despair. No matter how they attacked the surroundings, there were no cracks at all. They couldn't get out. At this moment, a sneer came from afar. Don't waste your energy. This place is not something you can imagine. Come over obediently and become our battle servants. Be our underlings. If you're lucky, you can still live. Damn it, who is it? How dare you challenge me? The good and evil statue turned around. The next moment they saw a valley talking. This valley was formed by 4 spirit veins, and there were many stars flickering around it. What astonishing power! There were many spiritual herbs in the valley. They were all natural treasures. He rushed over. The spirit beasts of the 4 spirit valley roared. Damn it, big guy, come and help us. At this moment, a hand grabbed the sky and covered the earth. The good and evil statue was sent flying. A terrifying roar came. The good and evil statue was sent flying, and cracks appeared on its body. Shatter and reassemble. They roared madly. Was there a peerless expert here? The next moment they saw a fire dragon appear. That fire dragon was burning with the flames of hell. It was the Hellfire Dragon. This seems to be the totem of the twins of destiny. The Hellfire Dragon flew over and said coldly, Brat, why did you bring them here? This guy had a tough life and was very difficult to kill. Shen Shen said, You know them? The Hellfire Dragon nodded. The Destiny Gemini race was very famous. Back then, a great emperor almost appeared. How could I not recognize him? The most troublesome thing about them is that they can't be killed. That's why I hate them. Brat, hurry up and let us go. Otherwise you're dead. The good and evil statue roared. Lin Xian sneered. Others might not be able to kill them, but I can. He walked forward. At the same time, a dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in front of him. It was the invincible great dragon sword soul. Hell Dragon, hold them down. I want to finish them off with a single strike. This time, Lin Xian guaranteed that there would be no time difference. Damn it, what kind of sword is this? Feeling this aura. The good and evil statue roared crazily. He felt danger. Run. They split up and ran. The Hellfire Dragon held down the evil one. But the evil one wasn't afraid. As long as the good one could escape, he could revive. The good one ran far away. Lin Xian didn't chase. The Hellfire Dragon didn't either. Instead he sneered. Stupid thing. There are some places in this world that even I don't dare to go. He dares to go to those barren areas? The evil one didn't understand what was going on. He thought there was hope to escape. But soon he realized that the good one ran back. He seemed to be very frightened. What's going on? What's going on in this world? Why do I feel frightened? He really went crazy. The evil one roared. Why did you come back? Hurry up and run. Otherwise we'll definitely die. The good one was frightened. I can't go forward. If I go, I'm afraid I won't be able to come back. What's wrong with this world? The evil one was shocked. What's going on? The Hellfire Dragon sneered. Stupid thing, you still don't recognize me? Seems like you're just clones. Since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. As he spoke, he reached out his hand again. He grabbed forward and suppressed the good one. Then he put the 2 in front of Lin Xian. Kid, you can deal with them. Also, this is a great merit of mine. Lin Xian smiled. Don't worry, I'll let you out in advance. But the Hellfire Dragon shook his head. No, I don't want to go out. I want to stay here forever. Lin Xian was shocked. Didn't you want to go out before? I was just unconvinced. This world is where everyone dreams of entering. Now that I'm here, how can I go out? Lin Xian was shocked. What kind of world is this? Even an existence like the Hellfire Dragon wanted to come in. The good one and the evil one were shocked too. They both exclaimed. Could it be that world? The Hellfire Dragon slapped the 2 of them, causing them to crack and shut their mouths. Kid, hurry up and do it. Although I can suppress them, I'm just a remnant soul. I can't hold on for long. If you let their real bodies come, it'll be dangerous. Lin Xian nodded. He put the 2 side by side. Lin Xian waved the great dragon sword soul. This time he split the 2 apart. The indestructible power made the good one and the evil one unable to recover. Lin Xian waved his hand and summoned the Tai Chi diagram. It kept spinning. The good one and the evil one broke down. They roared crazily. The great dragon sword was indestructible. Although they were strong, there were things that could restrain them. Facing an extreme weapon, it was hard for them to fight. Other than that, there was also an indestructible great dragon sword that could destroy their souls. They didn't expect the kid in front of them to have it. They wanted to escape, but it was too late. Their broken bodies turned into pure law power and merged into the Tai Chi diagram. The Tai Chi diagram kept spinning and became more and more terrifying. Lin Xian's Tai Chi incantation also felt the strong power. He was surrounded by black and white aura. At this moment he was like Kun Pingzi. How would it compare to Kun Pingzi's yin-yang law form? Lin Xian clenched his fist. He felt that it wasn't enough. He thought of something. He released Yunua's good one and evil one from the heaven-swallowing jar. He let the Hellfire Dragon help again. He split the two apart. Then the power of the two was swallowed by the Tai Chi diagram. The Tai Chi diagram rose again. Chapter 51-23. The Fake Clan was even more terrifying. Everyone's hearts had been heavy these days, because there had been an oppressive aura coming from the ancestral hall. They didn't dare to be careless. On this day, a crazy roar came from the ancestral hall, overturning the 9 heavens. Countless palaces and pavilions in the Fake Clan were destroyed. Hundreds of black cracks were left in the sky. Each crack was tens of millions of miles long, dancing like a black dragon. This scene was too terrifying, as if the world was about to be destroyed. Countless people looked up at the sky. They knelt on the ground and kept kowtowing. The Fake Clan leader also rushed out. What's going on? Why is the ancestor angry again? He hurriedly rushed in. Then he was suppressed by an invisible force and even he knelt on the ground. Ancestor, who angered you? He asked in horror. Damn it, my clone Dharma idol was destroyed. What? How is this possible? Hearing this, the Fake Clan leader was completely stunned. The previous clone was only a clone planted in Yunua's body, and it wasn't that powerful. However, the clone Dharma idol was different. There were only a total of 4 clones and they were given to the 4 elders. This clone Dharma idol was too powerful and no one could subdue it. Now that the clone Dharma idol was destroyed, he felt like he was dreaming. This was impossible. Which elder was it? The Fake Clan leader exclaimed. The evil good ancestor said coldly. It was the residence of the 8th elder. The clone Dharma idol there was destroyed. The Fake Clan leader stood up and said, Don't worry, ancestor. I'll deal with it right away. I'll send countless experts there. After he came out, he gathered a group of experts and said, Go to the 8th elder's residence. There was a problem there. Bring the enemy over. A group of experts soared into the sky. The others were also shocked. Who was it? The 8th elder's residence was destroyed? The enemy was too powerful and too arrogant. Some people guessed that it could be the Phoenix clan or the Tianpeng clan. In this Yuhan continent, they couldn't think of how many clans dared to be so arrogant. But at this moment, a stream of light flew over from afar. Who was it? Everyone shouted angrily. Elder Zhang said, Don't move, it's one of us. They saw that the person who descended was a broken figure. It was the 8th elder. They exclaimed. The Fake Clan leader also walked over and looked ahead. His expression became unsightly. At this moment, the 8th elder was in an extremely miserable state. Old 8, what's wrong? Who beat you up like this? Your mansion has been destroyed. Who was it? Was he from the Phoenix clan, or was he from another clan? He didn't know. He only knew that he was a young man with heaven-defying strength. What? A young man? The surrounding people were stunned. They had thought of countless possibilities. However, he had never thought that his opponent would be a young man. Was there anyone else other than him? Could it be that there were no veteran experts? The 8th elder said that there were 2 other demonic beasts, but their strength was not as strong as that young man. Don't you know who he is? The 8th elder said that he was very powerful. His sword technique was very strong and had an indestructible power. Moreover, he had the aura of the Tao of Dragons. The dragon image it created was so terrifying that it almost froze my blood. Tao of Dragon aura. Everyone exclaimed. The Destiny clan leader frowned. Could it be the Dragon Prince? Among the dragons, there was only one Dragon Prince who was so terrifying. The 8th elder shook his head. I have seen the portrait of the Dragon Prince. It was definitely not him. Then who was it? Everyone was puzzled. Other than the Dragon Prince, there was such a terrifying existence among the dragons? Why didn't they know about it? Forget it. No matter who he was, his strength was limited no matter how strong he was. We must catch him. With him, it was possible for him to possess something extraordinary. The 8th elder gritted his teeth and said, Don't worry. Although I was defeated, my avatar will not be defeated. The Destiny clan leader said. Unfortunately, the avatar was destroyed. We are sending people to suppress him. What? The 8th elder exclaimed. Even the ancestor's avatar was defeated? He was stunned. He knew the Avatar's strength very well. Suppressing him would be a piece of cake. However, it was destroyed now. How did he do it? Had the other party's strength already reached such a terrifying level? At the same time, his heart was bleeding. This was because a large portion of its power had been suppressed by the Avatar Dharma idol. Otherwise, he would already have the strength of a saint. How could he possibly lose to the other party? Now that the Avatar was defeated, he was afraid that part of his power was gone. Would he never be able to become a saint in this lifetime? The eighth elder was going crazy. Clan leader, I have to go back. That kid is too strange. I might be able to help. The eighth elder ignored his injuries and wanted to go back. He wanted to regain his lost cultivation. These people quickly moved out. At the same time, the eighth elder's mansion was completely destroyed. All the people around went crazy. They could sense that the statues of their ancestors that they usually kowtowed to had disappeared. Even Yunyu, who was collecting resources, was stunned. How could the ancestors' aura be gone? To be honest, he knew that Lin Xian was terrifying. However, he did not expect that he could destroy the ancestor's avatar in such a short period of time. It seemed that he had to hurry up. Because it would not be long before the clan headquarters sent a peerless expert to suppress them. Lin Xian was still in the ancestral hall. After the good and evil avatar was destroyed, there was still endless power in the surroundings. Those were the power that the eighth elder's bloodline had been worshipping for a long time. It was really too huge. Previously, Lin Xian was torn apart by this power. Now these powers were ownerless. He snorted and opened the sword world, using the swallowing heaven jar to devour these powers. Then he entered the sword world. Damn, this kid has so much power. The Hellfire Dragon was shocked. The four spirit beasts of the Four Spirit Valley also exclaimed. This power was too shocking. Indeed, this power was equivalent to the power of several worlds. At this moment, it could already affect the sword world in a certain area. Previously, the sword world only recovered from the Four Spirit Valley. With the addition of the Life Spirit Spring, it was different now. Within a radius of 100 miles, there was a certain degree of recovery. This made Lin Xian happy. He sat down cross-legged and recovered his consumed power. Lin Xian walked out of the sword world. At the same time, he waved his hand and split the entire ancestral hall into two. The surrounding people were so scared that they knelt on the ground. Was the ancestral hall that they usually worshipped also broken? These people roared crazily. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Noisy. With a wave of his hand, the Taiji diagram appeared and the yin and yang sword light pierced through these people. These people were terrified. What kind of power was this? Why did it feel so similar to their power? There was the powerful holy power of light and the terrifying power of darkness. Chapter 51-24. Young Master. At this time, Yunyu also walked over and looked around expressionlessly. Lin Xian said, "Let's go to the next place with clones." Yunyu was surprised. She still had some resources to collect. However, she did not dare to resist and could only quickly agree. Yes, young master. He rose into the air and flew into the distance. Lin Xian waved his hand and summoned Little White, the Toad, and the Dark Red Dragon. They also soared into the sky. He came to the front and grabbed Yunyua's shoulder. "Show me the direction. You're too slow." After saying that, a pair of black wings appeared behind him. They flapped gently and tore through the 9 heavens. Yunyua was stunned. She felt a huge force that wanted to tear her body apart. In the next moment, she found a force coming from the palm on her shoulder, forming a barrier to protect her. Looking at the scene on both sides, Yunyua could not believe it. What kind of speed was this? It was several times faster than her maximum speed. This made her even more shocked by Lin Xian. Even if the Fake Clan found him and wanted to kill him. With his speed, it was not a problem for him to escape successfully. Finally, they arrived at the place where another Avatar Dharma Laksana was located. This time it was the place where the third elder was. Who was it? The third elder's mansion also shouted angrily. Lin Xian did not say anything. He waved his hand and a battle broke out. On the other side, a group of powerhouses descended from the sky in the eighth elder's mansion. Seal the area. With a roar, endless barriers appeared around them. Countless powerhouses scattered in all directions. They sealed the entire territory. The eighth elder. The eighth elder also came. Her face was pale as she looked down and gritted her teeth. "Kid, get out here." There was no response. He shouted angrily, "Search." Those powerhouses quickly went down to search. Soon they came back. There was no one except for the eighth elder. Damn it, did that brat get away? Damn it, the eighth elder did not believe it and personally searched. He found that it was true. There was no one here. More importantly, the resources they had left behind had also disappeared. Damn it, chase him. He can't have escaped far. This is our territory. I don't believe that he can escape. These people began to chase and attack from all directions. A few days later, the third elder's residence was in ruins. The third elder didn't escape this time. He was slashed to the point that his heart and soul were completely destroyed. Even at the moment of his death, he could not believe that a young man could be so terrifying. The clone technique of the third elder's mansion was also brought into the sword world by Lin Xian. Then Lin Xian and the Hellfire Dragon attacked together, suppressing and killing it. The power obtained from the sacrifice was all absorbed by the sword world. The power of yin and yang that the Dharma Laksana avatar possessed was absorbed by Lin Xian's Taiji diagram. Lin Xian felt that his Tai Chi diagram had improved once again, which made him happy. His yin-yang law had become even more terrifying than before. Lin Xian clenched his fists. He felt that there was hope for him to break through to the Great Sage level. He had to get his hands on the remaining 2 Dharma Laksana avatars. Perhaps he could use this opportunity to break through to the Great Sage level. Everyone in the Fate clan was waiting for news. The Fate clan leader's eyes flickered. Was there still no news from the 8th elder? A few days had passed. However, he wasn't worried. He had brought enough people this time. If he met that kid, he would definitely not be able to escape. However, at this moment, a roar came from the ancestral hall again. The whole world shattered again. The people of the Fate clan had all gone crazy. What could make the ancestor so crazy? The Fate clan leader's face changed. Could it be that something had happened to the 8th elder? He was so scared that he quickly entered the ancestral hall and knelt on the ground. The ancestor roared crazily. Damn it, my second Dharma Laksana avatar was destroyed. This time it was the third elder's residence. What are you doing? Do you want me to change the clan leader? The Fate clan leader was stunned. Impossible. He cried out in alarm. I've already sent countless experts to go there. Damn it, did that kid attack the third elder's mansion again? Could it be that his target was the Dharma Laksana avatar? Thinking of this possibility, he was shocked. No one had ever dared to be so bold. Quick, inform the 8th elder and the others to go to the third elder's territory and kill him. At the same time, inform the 12th elder and the 15th elder to fight with all their strength. When the 12th elder received the news, his face became extremely ugly. It was too late. He realized that the young man that the clan leader was talking about was already in front of him. Lin Xian attacked fiercely. Previously, he had obtained the endless power of the sacrifice, so he didn't hold back anymore. Now that the sword world had become stronger, he could use the power of the heaven-devouring jar and the great dragon sword spirit. This time, in order to end the battle quickly, he quickly used the great dragon sword spirit and the heaven-devouring jar. Therefore, this battle ended very quickly. After devouring the third Dharma Laksana avatar, he obtained the power of the sacrifice again. Lin Xian soared into the sky and left quickly, heading to the 15th elder's residence. Damn it, the 8th elder and the others were crazy when they came. This method was too fast. They had already chased with all their might, but the 12th elder's residence was still destroyed. No, they had to hurry to the 15th elder's residence. This time they were closer. These people quickly attacked. Finally, they arrived at the 15th elder's residence. The 15th elder was also facing a great enemy. Previously, he had received news that someone wanted to collect the Dharma Laksana avatar, which made him unable to believe it. However, when he discovered that the 2 Dharma Laksana avatar had been destroyed, he was completely stunned. It seemed that he was indeed in danger, so he quickly took defensive measures. Countless array formations flickered, and all the experts were mobilized by him. In the next few days, he discovered that the 8th elder and the others had also arrived, and they had brought along a powerful force. Countless experts of the Destiny race arrived, blotting out the sky. The 15th elder heaved a sigh of relief. Great, he smiled in relief. With this force, there was absolutely no danger. In the sky, a stream of light streaked across the sky. It was unbelievably fast. It was Lin Xian who was flying. Yunyu said, "Young master, our actions here must have alarmed the family headquarters. The 12th elder has already received the news. The 15th elder is even more on guard. Perhaps the family has already mobilized endless forces to form an inescapable net there." "What are you trying to say?" Lin Xian glanced at her. Yunyu took a deep breath and said carefully, Young master, 3 Dharma Laksana avatar is enough. Why do you have to take the risk? Indeed, in her opinion, this was a very unwise choice. However, Lin Xian shook his head. You don't understand. The Dragon Prince, Kun Pingzi, and I are all competing for time. Whoever enters the Great Sage Realm first will have an absolute advantage. Now that I have absorbed the power of 3 Dharma Laksana avatar, I am only 1 step away from the Great Sage Realm. As long as I can get the 4th Dharma Laksana avatar, I can enter the Great Sage Realm in the shortest time possible. Chapter 51-25. Yunhua was shocked. She did not expect Lin Xian to want to fight to the death with the Dragon Prince. It seemed that Lin Xian's ambition was far beyond her imagination. She knew that she could not persuade him. She could only tell him to be careful. At the 15th Elder's residence, a group of experts was waiting there. They had set up a trap. Someone frowned and said, "Do you think that kid will come? I think he might not come. After all, he is not a fool. He has 3 Avatar Dharma idols. He must know that we will set up a trap on the 4th Avatar Dharma idols. He will not walk into the trap again." The others nodded. That was true. That was indeed the case. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't take such a risk. The 8th Elder gritted his teeth. Damn it, they were about to give up. Just then a stream of light flashed from afar. Then a beam of sword light fell from the sky and slashed on the formation. The entire array shook violently. The majestic palaces in the mansion were shattered into pieces. What happened? Countless people in the hall were shocked. Some people were cut into blood mist. Some people rushed to the sky and roared. The faces of the 8th Elder and the other experts who had rushed over changed, and then they were overjoyed. He's here. That brat is here. What? The 15th Elder and the others were stunned. Lin Xian really dared to come. This was simply too audacious. They looked up to the sky to see what he looked like. In the next moment they saw a man descending from the sky. This man was extraordinary. Sword chi filled the sky as if he was a sword god. He stood in the void and stomped his feet. The entire 15th Elder's residence shook violently. The endless void shattered. The people below vomited blood. So strong. Those who were injured were in despair. What kind of aura was this? It felt like a young emperor. The 15th Elder and the others were shocked. A young supreme emperor. The 8th Elder gritted his teeth. Damn you, it's really you. He would not forget that Lin Xian was the one who had injured him. Lin Xian looked down and said coldly, "It was indeed a trap. But so what? Kneel on the ground and wait for me to deal with you. I can give you a quick death." Lin Xian looked down like a god from the heavens. What an arrogant brat. The 8th Elder humphed coldly. This time we have 10 times more people than before. You will die without a doubt. The 15th Elder also shouted angrily. 8th brother, why are you wasting time with him? Just attack. Someone activate the formation. Formations flickered between heaven and earth as 36 killing formations were activated. They covered the sky and covered the earth as they enveloped Lin Xian. Outside the mansion, the dark red dragon, the toad, and Yunhua watched this scene. Lin Xian knew that this battle would be extremely dangerous, so he didn't let these people follow him. Yunhua was shocked. Was young Master Lin in danger? The dark red divine dragon laughed. Don't worry, he still has a lot of trump cards. They weren't very worried. Instead, they were preparing to collect the spoils of war when the time came. The 36 killing arrays in front of him exploded, and terrifying light beams swept across the 9 heavens. The terrifying aura caused the world to collapse. Let's see how you die this time. Some people snorted coldly. Inside the formation, Lin Xian's body was violently impacted. He roared and the 9 yang divine bodies shone brightly. 9 suns flew out, and the aura that erupted illuminated the world. Those suns turned into terrifying flames that swept in all directions. The surrounding killing formations were ignited and quickly burned into ashes. Then Lin Xian stretched out a palm and grabbed towards the sky. With one palm he tore the formation into pieces. At the same time, a terrifying sword aura flashed on his body and pierced through the 9 heavens. The surrounding formations kept shattering, and the smiles on the faces of the others also disappeared. How was that possible? He was so strong. Especially the people around the 15th Elder. They thought that this was a sure kill, but now they were doubtful. The killing arrays in the sky were shattering, and Lin Xian walked out like a sword god. The sword aura on his body swept in all directions. The surrounding people were shocked. Damn it. The 15th Elder was shocked. He shouted angrily, "Kill him." The people that the 8th Elder brought with him also rushed over and quickly attacked. In an instant, divine powers were cast. Some of the terrifying auras were like holy spirits. Some of them were as terrifying as hell. Kill. Lin Xian also shouted angrily. A Tai Chi diagram appeared in front of him and kept spinning. The yin-yang divine sword flew out, and a terrifying aura swept through the 9 heavens. The experts in front were instantly pierced through, and some were split in half. The others were also terrified. Damn it, the power of yin and yang, he actually knew this power. The people of the Twin of Destiny clan went crazy. This power was extremely similar to their good and evil twins. Moreover, the other party's sword aura was even more terrifying. It was invincible, causing them to feel a huge injury. In an instant, many people in the 15th Elder's residence died. The 15th Elder's eyes were red. Those below the Great Sage retreat. Those above the Great Sage gather. He realized that the Holy King was useless in front of the other party. Only those above the Great Sage working together would have a chance. Those below the Great Sage quickly retreated, wanting to leave this battlefield. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? He waved his hand and a sword aura soared into the sky. At the same time he shouted angrily, "Ruffian dragon, seal this place for me." Outside, the dark red dragon heard his voice and said, "Don't worry, leave it to me." He formed a seal with his palm and used the ancient scripture. The spirit veins in the 15th Elder's residence were activated by him, forming a cage that enveloped the world. Those arrays were also constantly shattering. What's going on? Our arrays are out of power. Impossible. The 15th Elder went crazy. They had chosen the residence because there were so many spirit veins underground. There were even dragon veins. How could it be out of power? But now, the dark red dragon had used all of this power to form a powerful seal that blocked everyone. Those who tried to escape were all blocked. Their blood was boiling. Elder Zhang, this is bad. We can't escape at all. The entire residence has been sealed. They were terrified. The 5th Elder's expression turned ugly. Retreat far away. Everyone else kill. He soared into the sky and charged forward. The 8th Elder and the others also attacked. The 1st Elder's eyes shone with a cold light. The good and evil twins appeared behind him. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian smirked coldly. Just because Lin Xian had defeated him, Lin Xian would throw a punch at him. There was a terrifying flame on it, causing the evil twin to burn. The 8th Elder roared angrily and shot out a divine light to block the 9 Suns' divine fire. However, it was instantly engulfed by Lin Xian's demonic qi. The 8th Elder screamed with fear in his eyes. Come and help me. This time he did not come alone. Immediately, 5 experts rushed over and charged toward Lin Xian. The 8th Elder smiled sinisterly. Let's see how you'll die. Chapter 51-26. The remaining people all entered the pond. In the distance, the warriors under the Great Sage had already knelt on the ground when they saw this scene. What kind of scene was this? It was like the end of the world. They couldn't resist at all. Some of them were even attacked by some laws and sword qi. Their souls were destroyed. Lin Xian waved his hand, and the terrifying 9 Suns' divine fire turned into a sun and flew in all directions. It caused those people under the Great Sage to be burned to ashes. Then he raised his head and looked at the ancestral hall in front of him. The corners of his mouth curled up in disdain as he walked forward. When he came to the entrance of the ancestral hall, he sneered. Do you think you can survive by hiding in there? You're too naive. Today not only you but this avatar will also die. When the people in the ancestral hall heard this, they were all shocked. Then their faces turned cold. They didn't say anything. When the other party came in, they would let him know what despair was. They would torture him to death. Lin Xian held the Great Destruction Spear in his hand and walked in with the Hellfire Dragon Sword. After entering, the door of the ancestral hall was instantly closed. The surroundings were dark. A group of terrifying roars sounded. Kid, you dare to kill so many of our experts? I'll let you know what despair is. Stupid thing, who do you think you are? You think you can compete with our ancestors' avatar? Go to hell. I'll break all the bones in your body and destroy your soul. I'll let you know that you regret coming to this world. The surrounding ferocious voices sounded. Countless terrifying gazes flickered. Lin Xian snorted and his body bloomed with light. Like a huge sun, it illuminated the world. It wasn't the first time he came to this ancestral hall, so he wasn't afraid at all. With just you? Lin Xian looked around and sneered. A group of ants. Damn it, the surrounding people were mad. Which one of them wasn't a top expert, an elder of the older generation? But at this moment in front of the other party, they didn't resist at all. They gritted their teeth. Kid, so what if you're a young supreme being? So what if you're a young great emperor? Here we're kings. Ancestor, please. They quickly bowed. A statue appeared in front of him. It was the statue of good and evil, and it was still mysterious and radiant. The virtuous sun statue also stared at Lin Xian. You're the one who dared to cause trouble? Go to hell. A black palm blossomed with radiance, and the laws on it made people's hearts tremble. Lin Xian coldly shouted and similarly punched out. The 6 Dao fists shattered the heavens and earth as they collided with each other. A sonorous sound rang out and Lin Xian took 3 steps back. The evil sun's terrifying palm was also repelled. Everyone was shocked. Could this guy contend against the Grand Elder's Dharma idol with just his physique? Even the good and evil statue was shocked. He had some ability. No wonder they could fight their way here. Lin Xian laughed. You're just SOSO. I've already absorbed all 3 of your transcendence forms. You are no exception. Just surrender. He had a confident look in his eyes. Damn it, the doppelganger shouted angrily. He also knew about this matter. Was it this kid in front of him? He roared angrily and gave me the 2 inherited saint weapons. He held the scepter of light and the scythe of death in his hand. He said, Here I can restore these 2 saint weapons with all my might and let them display their true strength. Can you resist it? The surrounding people also laughed. Ah, stupid kid. Our Grand Elder's Dharma idol is much stronger than ours. Now I'll let you see what a true inherited saint weapon is. The doppelganger was also angry. He activated the inherited saint weapon with all his might. He was very powerful, and this ancestral hall contained the power obtained from endless sacrifices. At this moment he unleashed endless power. The laws were like seawater that covered the sky and earth. At this moment, the surrounding 15th Elder and the other members of the Twin of Destiny clan also knelt on the ground. They couldn't withstand this power at all. Although their scalps were numb, they were happy. Great, this kind of power was definitely enough to kill the other party. That kid was dead for sure. It was over. The doppelganger's arm fell. The scepter of light and the scythe of death erupted together, engulfing Lin Xian. In front of him, it turned into a black hole as if it was splitting the sky and earth. It was over. The other people also raised their heads. Their eyes were shining with excitement. As expected of the Grand Elder. Just the doppelganger's Dharma idol could easily kill a young supreme. No matter how talented he was, even the crown prince would be in danger of dying if he didn't fully mature. This young man didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. This time he deserved to die. Sneers sounded one after another, and the doppelganger's Dharma idol also retracted his hand. How dare you challenge me? I'll kill you without mercy. Is that so? You're just SOSO. You're still far from killing me. Amidst the laughter, a voice sounded. The surrounding people were stunned after hearing it. How could it be? They couldn't believe their ears. Who was speaking? The doppelganger's Dharma idol also roared. You're really stupid. Can't you recognize my voice? Lin Xian sneered. You're not dead? That's impossible. 15th Elder and the others went crazy. The doppelganger's Dharma idol also erupted with a terrifying light. The black and white eyes pierced through the black hole in front of them and the void shattered. They saw a black vortex that kept spinning. A figure walked out of the vortex. It was Lin Xian. You're really not dead. The doppelganger's Dharma idol also roared angrily. Was that the full-strength attack of the legendary sacred weapon just now? How could the other party dodge it? Lin Xian snorted coldly. He stretched out his palm and there was a black jar in his palm. So what if you're a legendary sacred weapon? I've already said that you won't be able to withstand a single blow from me. Seeing the black jar, the surrounding people were terrified again. The aura coming from the jar was too terrifying. It made their bodies feel like they were about to shatter. Their souls were about to be extinguished. Even the light on the 2 legendary sacred weapons dimmed. They seemed to be trembling. Damn it. The doppelganger's Dharma idol roared angrily. Could it be an extreme weapon? He sensed a trace of fear from the jar. Lin Xian's lips curled up. That's right, you're right. It's an extreme weapon. What? Everyone went crazy. Their eyes widened in disbelief. The other party actually had an extreme weapon? One had to know that this was the weapon of the Arch. Only the Arch race had it. Other than that, it was rare to hear of a Thearch's weapon. But now, the other party actually had an extreme weapon in his hand. Was he really a disciple? Damn it, the doppelganger's Dharma idol also roared angrily. With a roar, the power of the surrounding priests quickly burned. It seemed that he was going to go all out. So what if you have an extreme weapon? You can't unleash its true power. If you die, this extreme weapon will be mine. He was really too happy. With his strength, if he could obtain this extreme weapon, he would be able to do it. Chapter 51:27. Ignorant Ants. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The black vortex became more and more terrifying, as if it could swallow the heavens and the earth. The Dharma idol doppelganger's expression changed when it sensed the devouring power. He knew that the extreme weapon was very terrifying, so he couldn't be careless. He had to deal with it with all his might. Thinking of this, he roared and formed a seal with his palms. Suddenly, the bodies of the Destiny clan's powerhouses that came in split open. Their bloodlines quickly burned and rushed out of their bodies. Good and evil phantoms. They floated between heaven and earth. "No, Ancestor, you can't treat us like this." These powerhouses roared crazily. They felt despair. They knew that this was the Ancestor absorbing their power, and they might be destroyed in body and soul. "You live to provide me with power. Now that I'm in danger, give me your power." The Avatar's avatar shouted coldly. The great sage that came in were all burned and turned into a bloody mist. Between heaven and earth, one after another, the good and evil phantoms danced continuously. But these people had long ceased to exist. When they were dying, they were still filled with despair. Was this the Ancestor that they had worshipped for their entire lives? He actually harvested their lives just like that. With this power, the Avatar's strength became even stronger. He charged towards the devouring vortex from all directions. "Kid, go to hell." With an angry roar, a large area of the void in front of him shattered. This attack was indeed powerful to the extreme. Lin Xian snorted coldly and activated the devouring vortex to the extreme. The heaven-swallowing jar rushed forward. In the next moment, the entire world was devoured. When he appeared again, the Avatar's avatar roared and soared into the sky. However, he found that the surrounding scene had changed greatly. It was no longer his ancestor's ancestral hall. Instead, it had become another place. Desolate, strange. "Where is this? Do you think you can suppress me in another place?" Unfortunately, he was also suppressed in the end. When the Hellfire Dragon flew out, Lin Xian used the power of the Sword World and summoned the Great Dragon Sword Soul. The Avatar's face was filled with despair. He wanted to escape, but it was too late. In the end, his soul was also destroyed. The remaining sacrificial power was absorbed by Sword World. The power of good and evil was once again absorbed by Lin Xian using the Taiji diagram. He could feel that the power in his body had reached a pinnacle. Was he about to break through? Lin Xian took a deep breath. He suppressed the power of the breakthrough and quickly left. The 15th Elder's residence outside had long been destroyed. Lin Xian summoned the dark red divine dragon and the others to clean up the battlefield as quickly as possible. Then he would bring him away. He was about to break through. Really? The dark dragon was overjoyed when he heard this. There wasn't much time left until the coronation ceremony. Lin Xian wanted to break through and become the champion of the championship. Even in the prince's lands, this was extremely fast. He might even be the first to break through. In this way, his strength would surpass the other princes. At that time, he could make a move on the dragon prince. The dark red divine dragon gnashed his teeth. He would never forget that the outstanding genius of Longhai Longguang had died in his hands. This hatred must be avenged. He collected all the storage rings of these people. Yunue was also frantically collecting other resources. Lin Xian said, "Let's go." They soared into the sky and quickly disappeared. The fake clan. Everyone was waiting for the ancestral hall. The good and evil statue roared crazily again. Damn it. At this moment he was really angry. All 4 of his clones had been destroyed. This was something that he couldn't tolerate, and it was also something that he couldn't believe. When the fake clan found out about this, they were also shocked. How was this possible? Those elders roared crazily. The fake clan leader was also stunned. The people they sent out this time could definitely sweep away everything. He even brought 2 sacred weapons with him. Even if the mansion was destroyed, the last Avatar Dharma idol would definitely not be destroyed. But now, things were beyond their expectations. So many powerhouses had all fallen? When they saw the Soul Jade tablets shatter, they also went crazy. No one came back alive. Countless elders, powerhouses, geniuses, and 4 clones. All of them had fallen. The entire fake clan was shocked. Who was it? Was it a prince who brought the peerless powerhouses of the great emperor's clan? I think it's possible that he used an extreme weapon. Voices of discussion could be heard one after another. In their opinion, this was the only way to do it. Otherwise, it was impossible for a young man to do this. This news couldn't be hidden at all. After all, the destruction of the four elders' residences had already attracted many people's attention. Then the news spread everywhere. Finally, the entire Yuhan continent knew about it. They were shocked speechless. The Fate Twins were a top clan of the ancients in the Yuhan continent. They were not weak at all. In fact, in terms of vitality, the Heavenly Rock clan was even stronger, because they were almost immortal. As long as the good and evil twins were not killed in an instant, they would not be destroyed. But now they were dead. Countless elders had fallen. Their corpses piled up like mountains and a sea of blood gathered. It turned into hell. It was a scene of destruction. Heavens, who did it? Was it the Phoenix clan? Countless voices of discussion sounded. When the Phoenix clan heard the news, they immediately came out to clarify. It was not our Phoenix clan. They did not want to offend the Fate Twins for no reason. The Heavenly Rock clan also said that it was not the Heavenly Rock clan. The other top families also voiced their opinions one after another. For a moment, everyone was shocked. Those who could have done it were all denied. Then who was it? Was it a strong dragon from another continent? But a strong dragon could not suppress a snake in its old haunts. What kind of iron plate did the Fate Twins kick? Could it be the dragons? I think it might be the Kuanpeng clan. Kuanpeng Zi cultivated the law of yin and yang, and his power was very similar to the Fate Twins. Therefore they had a reason to do it. Voices of discussion could be heard one after another. Everyone was guessing. Even the Phoenix clan and the Heavenly Rock clan were investigating the news. The Phoenix clan leader shook his head. It couldn't be Kuanpeng Zi. If he wanted to do it, he wouldn't do it like this. An elder at the side also took a deep breath. That's right, if Kuanpeng Zi wanted to do it, he would do it at the headquarters of the Fate clan. He would even use the power of an extreme weapon like the Dragon Prince to make a shocking attack. He would do whatever he could to get what he wanted. This was the method of the Emperor clan. And now, the enemy had only destroyed 4 elder mansions and obtained 4 Dharma idols. They did not attack the headquarters. This was completely different from the methods of the Emperor clan. Then who was it? They didn't know. Do you think it could be that kid? Suddenly, they thought of a person. A young man who had just left their Phoenix clan not long ago. Are you talking about that Lin Xian? Someone exclaimed. No way, no matter how strong he was, even if he was an emperor, so what? Could he have done all this by himself? Even if he could kill those elders, what about the Avatar Dharma idols? As long as there was a glimmer of hope, it could not be destroyed. Chapter 51-28. The people of the Fate clan searched even more frantically. They must know who the enemy was. Several emperor clans and princes were denied by them. Who was it? At this moment, an elder sent a message. Not long ago, Crown King Lin Wudi came. He fought with the top genius of the Tianpeng clan, Flawless Bailey. He won. Moreover, he and Murong Qingqing were Dao companions. He was once a guest of the Phoenix clan, but he disappeared later. There was no trace of him anymore. Are you saying that it was Lin Wudi who did this? That's impossible. The people of the Fate clan did not believe it. Nothing is impossible. I've investigated before and received news. Not only did Lin Wudi defeat Flawless Bailey, but he also injured the Dragon Prince on the day of the coronation. It was said that the Dragon Prince used the 10,000 dragons diagram at that time, and Lin Wudi also had an extreme weapon. Therefore it was possible that he did it. Moreover, Lin Wudi was under a lot of pressure. He urgently needed to break through and become a great sage. Because his enemy was the Dragon Prince. Compared to the other princes, his foundation could be said to be the weakest. Without a great emperor clan to rely on, he had to obtain all the resources himself. Therefore he attacked the Avatar to obtain resources. Damn it, is it really him? When the experts of the Fate clan heard this analysis, they were all angry. They gritted their teeth. The eyes of the Fate clan leader also burst out with intense light. If he had an extreme weapon, he could really do it. Damn it, go and investigate Lin Wudi's whereabouts. As long as he's in the Yuhan continent, we must find him and bring him here. I want to let him know the consequences of offending us. Everyone began to move. The others also began to guess. Was it Lin Wudi's doing? The Tianpeng clan's Flawless Bailey received all kinds of news. Is it really him? Has this guy become so terrifying? Patriarch Bailey said. He should have borrowed half an extreme-grade weapon, the Heaven-Swallowing Jar. This is a power that surpasses his own. We don't need to pay too much attention to it. Although we don't have an extreme weapon, our Tianpeng clan's sacred weapon is not weak. Besides, he can't unleash all of his power, so we still have a chance of winning. The Phoenix clan's princess, Feng Jiu, narrowed her eyes. The heaven-swallowing jar? That was interesting. Go and ask Sister Qingqing if it was her husband Lin Wudi who did it. Murong Qingqing was surprised when she heard the news. She felt that it was very likely to be Lin Xian, but she shook her head at Feng Jiu's doubts. He expressed that he didn't know. Fate Ancestor snorted coldly and said, "Activate Fate Adjudication." The Destiny Clan's clan chief was astonished. Was the old ancestor going to use that kind of power? She was surprised. The old ancestor snorted coldly. Yes, bring him back alive. I still want the heaven-swallowing jar. His eyes shone with a terrifying light. Now that he had an extreme-grade weapon, he could begin the next step of his plan. Yes. The Fate Clan leader was about to ask the Adjudicator for help. This was a secret power of the Gemini of Destiny. These people had cultivated terrifying divine abilities. Normally they would have a super strong foundation. These people would only be mobilized when the Fate Clan was under great threat. They would represent fate and punish the enemy. That was why it was called Fate Adjudication. Wait. The old ancestor said in a deep voice. The Fate Clan's leader said respectfully. Is there anything else, old ancestor? The old ancestor said. If I remember correctly, your son is already 3,000 years old. Yes. The Fate Clan's leader nodded obediently. Yunhai was already 3,000 years old, and he was only one step away from becoming a saint. Speaking of this, there was a hint of pride in his eyes. He was a son. He would inherit his position in the future and bring glory to the Fate Clan. Let Yunhai come over. I will accept him as my personal disciple and pass on the twin soul to him. Really? The Fate Clan's leader suddenly raised his head with a hint of excitement in his eyes. He knelt down and kowtowed respectfully. Thank you, old ancestor. It was a great honor to be accepted as a disciple by the old ancestor. Even he wasn't qualified. And the twin soul was an extremely terrifying divine ability. This time, he had established a certain connection with the old ancestor, which was equivalent to forming a doppelganger Dharma idol. And it could be moved. The previous 4 doppelganger Dharma idols could only stay in the ancestral hall and couldn't take a step out. There was a huge limitation. That was also the reason why they were destroyed. Because there was no way to escape. But now, if the twin soul was implanted, then his son Yunhai's strength wouldn't be weaker than the doppelganger Dharma idol. His future achievements would be unparalleled. There was even hope to surpass the Saint realm and reach an even more incredible realm. Thinking of this, his eyes turned red. Don't worry, old ancestor. I will call Yunhai over. The old ancestor slowly closed his eyes and began to wait patiently. He knew that Lin Wudi couldn't escape. As long as he was still on Yuheng Road, he had a chance to suppress him. After the Fate Clan's leader came out, he gave the order and began to mobilize countless people. At the same time, he summoned the Grand Elder and asked him to activate the Fate Adjudication. The Grand Elder was shocked. Was he really going to use that power? The Fate Clan's leader nodded and then gave a token to the Grand Elder. This is my clan chief's token. Take it and personally handle this matter. What about you, clan leader? The Grand Elder was shocked. Other than the clan leader, there were no more than 3 elders who knew about a power like the Fate Adjudication. But now the clan leader wasn't going to do it personally. The Fate Clan's leader said that he had more important things to do and that he would leave it to the Grand Elder. The Grand Elder took a deep breath. The clan leader was relieved. He took the clan leader token and quickly flew into the depths of the clan. The Fate Clan's leader flew in another direction. The Fate Clan was extremely powerful. The land they occupied was too vast. It was boundless. There was a mountain range here. There were 2 dragon veins. The dragon veins formed by the yin-yang dragon were abnormally terrifying. It could be said that it was a holy land for cultivation. There was a figure sitting cross-legged in the mountain range. This man's hair was half black and half white. He looked very strange. His aura was also extremely terrifying. At this moment he opened his eyes and pierced through heaven and earth. Who was it? He stood up. The sky was split in half. A large crack appeared in the distance. It's me. The Fate Clan's leader flew over from afar. Father, it's you. The man retracted his power and said in confusion. What happened? He was the clan leader's son Yunhai. 3,000 years old. He was very close to becoming a saint. Before this he had been cultivating in this holy land, so he didn't know what happened outside. The Fate Clan's leader told him what happened. Yunhai was furious after hearing it. You're saying that someone dared to attack the Fate Clan? And Yunyue dared to betray the clan. Chapter 51-29. Yunhua was nothing to be afraid of. The important thing was Lin Wuti. He was a crown king and was as talented as the Arch. More importantly, he had half an extreme-grade weapon, the heaven-swallowing jar. He was very difficult to deal with. Only by suppressing him could the danger be resolved. Father, do you want me to go? Yunhai said, no problem. Give me an inherited saint weapon and I will suppress it. Although the other party was young and had half a heaven-swallowing jar, he was still not afraid. Because he was much older and was only one step away from the late stage of the great sage. Therefore, his strength was also very terrifying. With a legendary weapon he could sweep through everything. The Destiny clan leader shook his head. Yunhai frowned. Father, don't you believe me? How can I not believe you? But don't be in a hurry to make a move. The Patriarch wants to see you. He wants to accept you as his personal disciple. Is that true? Yunhai's body trembled and a flash of light appeared in his eyes. Father, is that really the case? Although he looked like he was looking down on the world, when he heard this news, he was as excited as a child. That's right, I'm here to bring you to see the Patriarch. Come with me. The two of them rushed into the sky and turned into streaks of light. On the other side, a huge canyon appeared in the endless land of the earth. The first elder waved the badge in his hand. In the canyon, the surrounding array disappeared and a passage appeared. He walked all the way to the bottom of the canyon. There was a continuous underground palace below and endless array formations flickered around it. Who is it? Stop. A voice sounded. Thunder descended from the sky, blocking the Grand Elder's path. At the same time, 4 black figures appeared around him. The 4 black figures were shining with a terrifying light. The Grand Elder stood there, his body cold. He felt a fatal threat. As long as he moved slightly, these 4 people would be able to tear him to pieces. He was shocked. As expected of the Judgment Clan, they were too terrifying. These people could control the fate of others. He stood there and said, I'm the Grand Elder. I'm here on the orders of the Patriarch. This is the Patriarch's token. As he spoke, he waved the token in his hand. The eyes of the 4 people in the surroundings flashed. Why didn't the Patriarch come? The Great Elder said that the Patriarch has something more important to discuss. This time our Fate clan is in danger. The 4 Dharma idols have been destroyed. The Patriarch is furious and is about to activate you. The token is correct. Come in. The 4 figures slowly disappeared. The door to the underground palace slowly opened and the first elder walked in. He discovered that it was like heaven on earth and there was a throne inside. There was a woman sitting in front of him. This woman wore a holy battle robe and held a heavenly book in her hand. There was a scepter in his right hand. She also had white wings on her back. Untainted by a speck of dust, he looked like a deity. He sat on the throne. When the woman saw the first elder walking over, she raised her head and asked in a deep voice, "What is it?" The great elder recounted what had happened. The woman closed the heavenly book in her hands and stood up. An extremely cold radiance appeared in his eyes. Assemble. As soon as the order was given, many figures rushed out from the surrounding underground palace. They all came to the front of the main hall and stood there with cold expressions. The Patriarch had given the order to suppress Lin Wuti. The radiant woman waved her hand and the wings on her back spread out. She tore the world apart and soared into the sky. 100 powerhouses also followed. These people disappeared into the void like gods and demons. The first elder was shocked. 100 adjudicator powerhouses were now moving out. It was an invincible force. It seemed that a huge storm was about to happen in the Yuheng continent. That Lin Wuti was definitely going to die this time. One day later, the mansion of the 15 elders was in ruins. Many figures appeared there, flickering. They were the sage martial artists of the Yuheng continent who came here to look for opportunities. After all, there were countless powerhouses here before. There might be storage rings and all kinds of treasures left behind. Even some of the broken weapons were endless treasures to them. So they came here to look for treasures. At this moment, a cold force appeared and sealed off the surroundings. In the sky, a pair of white wings covered the sky. A woman wearing a golden sacred armor, holding a heavenly book and a golden scepter, descended from the sky. She stood in midair and looked down like a god. Where was Lin Wuti? The people who were looking for treasures below were stunned. She was so beautiful. Was an angel descending? They were shocked. There were also people who were puzzled. Who was Lin Wuti? They had never heard of him. Were they stupid? He was the person who defeated Bailey Wuck. Oh, you mean the genius who was crowned king in the holy city? Why was he here? A man waved a folding fan and walked out. Lin Wuti wasn't here. How should I address you? I'm Iron Fan Saint. Can we be friends? Such a beautiful woman was very rare. If he could get her, wouldn't it be great? Thinking of this, he laughed. In the sky, the woman in golden armor lowered her gaze and waved her hand. Allah descended and enveloped Iron Fan Saint. Iron Fan Saint screamed miserably. Countless cracks appeared on his body, and even his soul was being torn apart. That scene was terrifying. The woman in the sky said coldly, "Punishment." With a bang, Iron Fan Saint was torn into pieces. His body and soul were destroyed. The surrounding people were shocked and kept retreating. Who was this person? Iron Fan Saint was also a saint expert and was very strong. But now he was killed by the other party's voice. It was too inconceivable. Where was Lin Wudi? The woman in the sky spoke again. The surrounding people were frightened. Some were angry. Lin Wudi wasn't here. Go find him somewhere else. The woman in golden armor's eyes were biting cold. This was the territory of the Twins of Destiny. Even if it was destroyed, it wasn't a place where you could come. You trespassed into the territory of the Twins of Destiny. Your crimes are punishable by death. Punishment. A cold voice sounded, and endless black figures appeared in the surroundings. They brought with them a biting cold killing intent. They were like the messengers of hell, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. In an instant, many people were torn into pieces. Screams sounded. Run. The others were frightened and wanted to escape. A great battle broke out in an instant. In less than half an incense's time, the hundreds of saints who came to look for treasures were all killed. Blood dyed the sky red. The other 100 black-robed figures stood there with blood dripping from their bodies. Erect a monument. Seal it and warn the world. No one is allowed to set foot in it. The woman in golden armor said coldly. The surrounding 100 mysterious experts used the bones of the dead saints to erect a heavenly monument. They used their saint blood to form a barrier that enveloped 15 old Jiang's mansions. They also warned the world. Those who crossed the line would be killed without mercy. Chapter 51:30. It wasn't just the 15th Elder's mansion, the 8th Elder's mansion, as well as the other 2 mansions with clones. They killed the people who were searching for treasures there and set up a monument as a warning. For a moment, the world was in an uproar. Who was so terrifying? Could it be that this was the power of the legends? Someone exclaimed. Others asked and were puzzled. An old man from the Tianping race said in a deep voice. The Destiny Twins had an extremely hidden power called the Destiny Judgment. It was said that they existed specifically to punish. Whoever dared to provoke the Destiny Twins would be punished. This group of people was very similar. They should be the Destiny Judgment. They were here to punish. Lin Wudi was finished. This group of people's strength was terrifying to the extreme. They were cold and would definitely not show any mercy. As soon as these words were said, the entire Yuhan continent was stunned. It seemed that the Destiny Twins were completely enraged. They even used such a mysterious power. Lin Wudi would definitely die. For a moment, the wind and clouds were surging. Everyone was talking about this matter. In the Phoenix race, Murong Qingqing was also very nervous when she received the news. I wonder if Lin Xian is in danger? It's just that I can't contact him now. At this moment, Lin Xian began to cultivate in seclusion after obtaining the power of the 4 clones. He found a cave in the mountain range and hid in it. Then he set up a formation. After that, he entered the sword world and cultivated inside. He wanted to break through and become the great sage as soon as possible. Lin Xian was in seclusion. The outside world was getting more and more terrifying, especially the Destiny Judgment. They were dominating everywhere. The strength that they displayed caused countless people to be terrified. No one would be able to resist such power. The matter here was known by the people of other clans and sections. Even the Yaoguang continent and St. Yuan Ancient City knew about it. In St. Yuan Ancient City, countless people were talking about it. Did you know? Something shocking happened in the Yuhan continent. The Twin of Destiny clan was attacked by someone, and the residences of several core elders were destroyed. Even the 4 clones were destroyed. Heavens, I've heard of this family. This is a very terrifying ancient race. Legend had it that as long as one of the good and evil twins was still alive, they would be immortal and indestructible. It was extremely difficult to kill them. Who was it that was so terrifying? The people of the 3 major orthodoxies and the clan of the ancients were very excited. Who else could it be? I received news that it was Lin Wudi. What? Lin Wudi? Lin Wudi of the Tao? Why did he go to Yuheng Road? How did they become enemies with the Twins of Destiny? Countless people cried out in alarm. The people of St. Origin City were completely dumbfounded. Lin Wuti was a godlike existence here. One had to know that he was a top-notch genius who had been crowned as a king. He was also a supreme youth. He was someone who was very likely to become a great emperor. However, after the other party was crowned, he disappeared. At first, many people thought that Lin Wuti was hiding because he was afraid of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty. How could he have imagined that the other party had already left the ancient city and headed to the Alioth continent? Furthermore, in the Jade Horizontal continent, he did not keep a low profile at all. He directly challenged the Twins of Destiny. Not only that, have you heard? Lin Wuti had also caused a storm in the Jade Horizontal continent. It was said that his Dao companion was a genius of the Phoenix clan. At the same time, Bailey Wuck was pursuing this woman. Lin Wuti and Bailey Wuck had a great battle. Are you talking about the #1 genius of the Heavenly Rock clan? He had the combat strength of a disciple. He was known as the Uncrowned King. Countless people thought highly of him. Yes, that's right, it was him. However, no matter how strong he was still defeated by Lin Xian. Heavens, Lin Wuti was too strong. He had actually defeated another young powerhouse. There were probably not many people who could suppress him now. The Dragon Prince was injured by him. Now Bailey Wuck was defeated by him. It was said that the genius of the Twins of Destiny, Yunyue, was also defeated by him. These were 3 young powerhouses. Who knew how many more records this guy would create? Countless people were discussing. The people of the Dao were excited. They were cheering wildly. Did you see that? These were the geniuses of their Dao. In particular, the people of the Divine Union were even more excited. They raised their heads proudly. Lin Xian was their boss. Even if he was in other places, he would still be able to defeat everyone. He was definitely someone who could become a great emperor. The people of the Dragon Palace were gnashing their teeth when they heard the news. The Blue Clan, Golden Crow Clan, Thousand Dragon Dynasty and others were so angry that they vomited blood. Damn it, this guy actually went to other places to defeat everyone. He even created such a record. Could it be that the other party had become even more powerful? The people of the Dragon Sea clan were also collecting information. Soon they snorted. Lin Wuti was dead meat. Why did they say that? There were other doubts. The experts of the Dragon Sea clan said that he had offended the Twins of Destiny. Do you think the Twins of Destiny will let him go? We have already found out that the Twins of Destiny have mobilized a top-notch mysterious force. Destiny Adjudication will punish Lin Wuti. Lin Wuti would definitely not be able to escape death. What was Destiny Adjudication? Many people were puzzled. Soon, some information about Destiny Adjudication appeared. The number of times they appeared was very few. They appeared once 2,000 years ago and again 5,000 years ago. Both times, there were extremely terrifying experts and even a few clans and sects that joined forces to challenge the Twins of Destiny. This caused the Twins of Destiny to be injured. In the end, when Destiny Adjudication appeared, regardless of whether it was the experts or the top clans, they were all destroyed. No one could escape. They were all killed by Destiny Adjudication. Their souls were suppressed in the 18 levels of hell. Heavens, this Destiny Adjudication was so terrifying. Absolutely. Apart from the Emperor clans, Destiny Adjudication would sweep through everything. No matter how strong Lin Wuti was, could he resist it? In an instant, everyone was shocked. Many people were ready to see a joke. If Lin Wuti fell, it would be an earth-shattering event. The Dao side was also in a heated discussion. The members of the Divine Union were worried. The people of the Divine Union were worried, but the people of the Dragon Palace sneered. Bai Susu was the first to speak. Some people were really naive. After all, Lin Wuti had an extreme weapon. So what if Destiny Adjudication was strong? Didn't you think that Lin Wuti was dangerous? Didn't he kill strong opponents time and time again? Just wait and see. Lin Wuti will definitely kill Destiny Adjudication this time. The people of the Divine Union stood out one after another to support Lin Xian. Even the Dugu clan, Nalan clan, Fire Dragon clan and others supported him. The news spread all over the ancient city. The elders of the older generation, the clan heads and supreme elders of the clans were also discussing with each other. They were also paying special attention to this battle. After all, Lin Xian was a crown king, a youth paragon. Chapter 51-31. Heaven Sect. In Yi Wudao's residence. Yi Wudao stood there with his brows tightly knitted. He looked at the information in his hand and his eyes flickered. Is Destiny Adjudication really so terrifying? Beside him stood a few Yi family elders. They said, it's very terrifying. Destiny Adjudication is very mysterious. It has only appeared twice in the past 6,000 years, but we still got some information. They are made up of 100 people. The leader is wearing a golden saint robe, like an angel with a holy radiance. The remaining 99 people are wearing black robes with a hellish aura. Their strength is unfathomable and they should be at least in the Great Sage realm. The leader is very likely to be in the Sage realm. More importantly, they have good and evil phantoms. As long as they aren't killed instantly, they are immortal. Moreover, their bloodlines are connected, and they can summon even more terrifying existences. So, unless it's someone at the peak of the Great Sage realm, even a sage would die without a doubt. After Yi Wudao heard this, his brows tightly knitted. This isn't good news. The Yi family elders sighed. Yes, Lin Wudi is strong, but he's only a sage king. Although he's a top genius with a trump card, he can fight above his level. But he's still unable to contend with a sage king. And destiny adjudication is an existence that even a sage king can't contend with. More importantly, that little guy shouldn't know anything about destiny's adjudication. So if he's careless, he'll be in danger. Leaf Daodenier clenched his fists and looked off into the distance. I wonder if Lin Xian can contend against it this time? This is a great calamity for Lin Xian. Jade horizontal continent, a primitive mountain range. Demonic beasts are constantly roaring. There's danger everywhere in the forest. In a cave behind a waterfall, there's a mysterious array flickering. At this moment, a figure flew quickly and landed beside the waterfall. The array erupted and the figure said, "It's me." The dark red divine dragon flew out and said, "You're back. Come in." The person who came back is none other than Yunyu. And this is the place where the dark red divine dragon and the others rest. After Yunyu came in, she said with a solemn expression, "Where was young Master Lin? I need to see him. He was cultivating when the toad jumped over. He had no time to see you. If you have something to say, tell us." Yunyu shook her head. It was an extremely important matter, so she had to tell him personally. The dark red divine dragon said, "Then wait at least until tomorrow." He began to transmit his voice through the formation. Inside the sword world, an extremely terrifying black and white aura appeared around Lin Xian's body. The laws of yin and yang on that side were enough to sweep away everything. His cultivation level had also become stronger than before. He sat cross-legged in the Four-Spirit Valley and constantly absorbed the yin and yang laws. There was also an endless supply of power for him. At this moment, the formation beside him flickered and a voice sounded. Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes. His gaze contained a mysterious power. The next moment he frowned slightly and walked outside. This was the voice transmission from the dark red divine dragon. Previously, he had said not to disturb him unless it was something very important. The fact that Zhang Xian had sent him a telepathic message meant that something important had happened. He walked out. "What's going on?" Lin Xian asked as soon as he came out. "Young Master Lin, are you out?" Yunyu walked forward. Lin Xian was surprised. "Oh, you're actually back." When they left earlier, they separated from Yunyu. After all, their paths were different, and they were not afraid of Yunyu betraying them. After all, the Destiny clan would definitely not forgive the other party after such a thing happened. But what was going on with the other party now? "Young Master Lin, something bad has happened. Destiny adjudication has been dispatched." Destiny adjudication? What was that? Was it very powerful? Yunyu's expression was solemn. He said that destiny adjudication was an extremely mysterious power of our Destiny twin clan. They specially prepared it for punishment. Once this power was used, even a sage would die without a doubt. Other than the peak of the great sage who could escape, no one else could. Even a sage was going to die? The dark red divine dragon exclaimed. The toad could also jump up. It was so powerful. Could it be that a peak of the great sage had made a move? The peak of the great sage stood at the top of the sage realm. Such a person was also an ancestor-like existence in the clan of the ancients. He wouldn't make a move so easily, right? If there really was such an existence, then they would have to leave immediately. Yunyu said. It wasn't the peak of the great sage. The judgment of fate was made up of 100 people, including the holy angel and 99 hunters. They were enough to destroy a sage. So it wasn't the peak of the great sage. The dark red divine dragon and the others heaved a sigh of relief. But their expressions were still solemn. According to Yunyu, they were simply a group of killing gods. Lin Xian said. Was fine. The Yuheng continent was vast. Let's leave here and find another place to hide. They probably wouldn't be able to find it. Wait for me to break through and become the great sage. At that time. I don't care what destiny adjudication is. You can't do anything to me either. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Next, they secretly moved and left the mountain range. They went to a more distant place and lived in seclusion. Lin Xian stayed in the sword world and didn't come out at all. He cultivated with all his might. Outside, Destiny Adjudication was frantically searching. But they were crazy. The Yuhan continent was boundlessly vast. If a person really wanted to hide for 10 years, they really wouldn't be able to find him. Unless they used some extremely mysterious power, such as divining the secrets of the heavens. But they didn't know that kind of power. So they asked their family for help. The Destiny clan leader personally invited an extremely terrifying expert to deduce the secrets of the heavens. This time they were really crazy. They paid a huge price to invite an expert from the Heavenly Tao Valley. The Nine Fingers Saint. The Heavenly Tao who could deduce the secrets of the heavens. However, the price to invite them was also very high. This time the Gemini clan was really going all out. The arrival of the Nine Fingers Saint caused the Gemini clan to be extremely excited. With such an expert, even the peak of the great sage couldn't hide. Everyone was looking forward to it. The Nine Fingers Saint had 9 fingers. His palms were constantly forming seals. Endless heavenly secret talismans appeared around him. In front of him was a tortoise shell. It was extremely huge and engraved with patterns. At this moment, those patterns were constantly interweaving. The Nine Fingers Saint calculated for 3 days and 3 nights. Suddenly he opened his eyes and flew out. He spat out a mouthful of blood. No. His hair instantly turned white as if he had aged hundreds of years. The others were all stunned. The Destiny clan leader's expression also changed greatly. What happened? He hurriedly went and shouted angrily. Quickly bring out the healing panacea. The Nine Fingers Saint's body trembled. His eyes were filled with fear. This person was not in this world. What did he mean? Everyone else was stunned. The Great Elder brought out 2 treasure boxes. The Patriarch opened them and there were extremely precious spirit medicines inside. Chapter 5132. After Nine Fingers Saint swallowed the elixir, his complexion recovered slightly. The hearts of the other Fate clan members were bleeding. This elixir could definitely bring the dead back to life. The evil good ancestor would definitely kill him. He had to obtain news of the other party at all costs. Only one person took a deep breath and said, I checked and he isn't in Jade Horizontal Continent. The Great Elder gritted his teeth. Damn it, did that kid return to Holy Abyss Ancient City? However, Nine Fingers Saint shook his head. No, you don't understand. Not only is he not in Jade Horizontal Continent, but he is also not in Jade Horizontal Continent. He is also not in Holy Abyss Ancient City. He is not in Buried Emperor Star. What? Not in Buried Emperor Star? The Fate clan leader was also stunned. How long has it been? That kid has already left this star world? Then how do we find him? There are countless star worlds in the universe. He needs to find a place to hide. This is really troublesome. Even if he hides to the ends of the world, I can still divine his location. But the space he is in is very mysterious. I tried to divine it forcefully but I was punished by the heavens. That's why I got injured. Heavenly punishment. Everyone was even more shocked. Nine Fingers Saint came from Heavenly Tao Valley. How could he be punished by the heavens? There was only one explanation. That's the place he is in. It's not simple and it's impossible to divine it. Did he return to the Phoenix clan? The Fate clan leader frowned. The Phoenix clan is an emperor clan. They might be able to hide from the heavens. Even if it's an emperor clan, I can still divine ordinary places. Unless he uses an extreme weapon or enters the core of the clan. I don't think he can enter with his identity. I'm going to leave. Nine Fingers Saint shook his head and left the Fate clan. The people of the Fate clan sighed. Even Nine Fingers Saint couldn't divine it. Damn it, who can find that kid? Can't they take revenge? Father, I'll go. Yin Hai transmitted his voice. The Fate clan leader was stunned. Aren't you accepting the inheritance? Yin Hai said. We'll be done soon. At that time I will challenge him. Isn't he Lin Wudi, the champion of One Crown? Since he has the identity of unparalleled, I should be able to openly challenge him. If he doesn't dare to come, he would lose all his face. This can be considered as revenge. Okay. The eyes of the Destiny clan leader shone with a cold light. His son was already very close to becoming a saint, and with the old ancestor's guidance, his son's strength would probably improve by leaps and bounds. No matter how strong the other party was, he was no match for his son. When the time came, they would openly challenge him. His opponent was the champion of the championship. If he did not dare to accept the challenge, his reputation would be completely ruined. This was even worse than killing the other party. Cold smiles appeared on their faces. Soon the fake clan sent out another message. This message was sent to the entire Yuheng continent. The young master of the Destiny Gemini clan, Yun Hai, wanted to challenge Crown King Lin Wudi. The time was set to be 1 month later. As soon as the news came out, countless people were in an uproar. Lin Wudi had no choice but to accept a public challenge. Otherwise, his reputation would be completely ruined. From now on, he was no longer fit to be the young wisdom sovereign. Voices of discussion rang out one after another. The Heavenly Rock Race's flawless 100 miles snorted coldly when he heard the news. This move was truly vicious. If Lin Wudi did not accept the challenge, his reputation would be ruined. If Lin Wudi accepted the challenge, he would not be able to escape and would definitely die. It could be said that whether he advanced or retreated, it would not benefit Lin Xian at all. Do you think he will accept the challenge? Voices of discussion rang out one after another. I guess he definitely won't, someone said. However, there were also people who shook their heads. No, he will definitely come. You don't know how important honor is to him, especially someone like him who wants to reach the top of the great emperor path. He will definitely not miss this stop. Otherwise, his Dao heart will be damaged and his cultivation will stagnate in the future. Then he will definitely die if he comes. Even if he defeats Yun Hai, the Destiny clan will set up an inescapable trap to kill him. This is a scene where death is inevitable. The voices of discussion rang out. Murong Qingqing's face instantly changed after hearing it. Damn the Destiny clan, the Gemini clan is too despicable. Others were also discussing. Lin Xian also received the news. The dark red divine dragon and Yun Yu had been secretly investigating. When they heard the news, their brows furrowed tightly. The Cloud Immortal Palace asked if they should tell young Master Lin. The dark red divine dragon gritted his teeth. After thinking for a long time, he said, "Tell him. After all, this is his challenge." As for the decision, it was up to him. The dark red divine dragon told the news to Lin Xian. Lin Xian also frowned after hearing it. 1 month later, a battle to the death. He sneered. Who does Yun Hai think he is? Does he think he is worthy of fighting with me? Spread the news and tell the world that not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry can challenge me. If he wants to challenge me, he has to see if he is qualified. Lin Xian continued to cultivate in seclusion. When the dark red divine dragon heard the news, he sneered and quickly spread the news. In an instant, the world was in an uproar. "Oh heavens," Lin Wudi replied. "Do you know?" Of course, Lin Wudi replied domineeringly. "Who does Yun Hai think he is? Does he think he is worthy of fighting with me?" He also said that not just any Tom, Dick, or Harry could challenge him. Isn't this slapping the Destiny twins in the face? However, someone said, "I don't think he's wrong. Lin Wudi has the identity of a crown prince. You don't have the identity and strength of an imperial prince, so you don't have the qualifications to challenge him." Yes, that's right. Lin Wudi wasn't even afraid of an imperial prince, let alone a young master. In an instant, many people supported Lin Xian. There was no choice. Previously, Lin Xian had shown his strength in the battle with Flawless Bailey. He had indeed convinced many people. Many young geniuses regarded Lin Xian as their idol. The Destiny twins were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Is their young master a Tom, Dick, or Harry? Not qualified to challenge him? Damn it. After hearing this, Yun Hai's eyes bloomed with extremely cold, killing intent. Is the other party looking down on me? I'm not qualified? Fine, I'll give him the qualifications. Yun Hai stood out. When he was chasing after Lin Wudi, he had already entered the old ancestor's ancestral hall and accepted the twin souls. At this moment, the bloodline in his body had become even more terrifying. It had even reached the atavistic bloodline. His strength had become even stronger than before. As long as he accepted a lightning tribulation, he would be able to break through and become a true saint. Although he hadn't broken through yet, in his opinion, his current strength wasn't any weaker than a saint. Once he burst out with his strongest bloodline, he had the confidence to compete with a saint. It seems like everyone in the world is looking down on me. Then I shall kill a few geniuses and experts and become famous. I want to see who dares to look down on me. Chapter 5133. 3 days later. Yun Hai defeated the top genius of the Divine Fire Sect in 30 moves. It shocked the world. The top genius of the Divine Fire Sect was an extremely terrifying existence. He was defeated in 30 moves? This Yun Hai was too terrifying. 5 days later. The top genius of the Earth Spirit sect was defeated in 50 moves. 10 days later. The elder of the Great Green Mountain was defeated in 100 moves. 15 days later. The famous Jade Cross-Continent Fairy Yuling was defeated in 100 moves. The news came one after another. Everyone was shocked. The people who were defeated were all extremely terrifying experts or geniuses on the Jade Cross-Continent. These people were supreme existences that could sweep through everything. But now they were all defeated. And they were all defeated by Yun Hai. Heavens, this Cloud Sea is too powerful. Why didn't they know that he was so terrifying? He was using these brilliant results to prove to the world that he was qualified to challenge Lin Wudi. Lin Wudi, am I qualified? Yun Hai shouted loudly. No one replied. On the 20th day, Yun Hai challenged the top genius of the Tianping race, Bailey Wuck. Countless people were shocked. However, the Tianping race said coldly, Wuck is already in seclusion. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you. An elder of the Tianping race walked out and fought with Yun Hai. After 700 moves, the elder was defeated in the end. You're very strong. I've lost. The elder of the Tianping race gritted his teeth. Half of his body was shattered. He had to admit that Yun Hai was too strong. That bloodline startled Bailey Wuck. Even Bailey Wuck was not confident of defeating that person. Heavens, even the top-notch expert of the Heavenly Rock race was defeated. Who else could suppress him? Yun Hai continued to challenge. This time the Phoenix race sent out a genius to challenge him. It was not Murong Qingqing or Fengjiu. However, the Phoenix race was equally terrifying. It was a man. He was a fire phoenix. Flames engulfed the 9 heavens as he fought with Yun Hai. After 1,000 moves, he was also injured. He won again. Yun Hai had never lost. He was too strong. He could definitely compete with the Crown Prince. Although he was older, he was still considered a top-notch expert. He was qualified to fight with Lin Wudi. At this moment, an expert finally stood out and said coldly. Everyone else agreed. Yes, that's right. Although Lin Wudi was a champion, Yun Hai was also a top-notch expert. Both sides were qualified to fight. Lin Wudi, are you still not coming out? The people of the Destiny Gemini clan sneered. What, one crown king? You dare to call yourself invincible? You are not worthy. Yun Hai said in a clear voice. A month's time is almost up. I now have the qualifications to challenge you. If you don't dare to come out, then your title of Crown King will be mine. From now on you, Lin Wudi, will have to kneel and kowtow to the Fate clan. His loud and clear voice spread in all directions. If this was the case, then Lin Wudi was completely finished this time. Even if he didn't die, his reputation would be ruined. The blow to his opponent's Dao heart was too great. Would Lin Wudi accept the challenge? The news was spread. After Yun Yu and the Dark Red Dragon received the news, they hurried back. Kid, this is bad. That guy is too much. They have informed Lin Xian. Lin Xian frowned. In order to fight with him, Yun Hai had challenged top geniuses and experts in the past month and obtained a dazzling result. Yun Yu frowned. I knew that he couldn't be this strong. Seems like he must have obtained a great opportunity in the past month. I think the old ancestor of fate must have given him some power. Young Master Lin, you have to be careful. When she mentioned the old ancestor of fate, Yun Yu's eyes were filled with fear. Although Lin Xian had killed 4 avatars, compared to the old ancestor at the headquarters, it was not worth mentioning. That old ancestor's strength was terrifying to the extreme. No one could provoke him. That was the true trump card of the Destiny clan. Now that the old ancestor had given Yun Hai power, Yun Hai was extremely strong. The toad said, Kid, do you want to fight? Why not? Lin Xian stood up. If he wants to die, I will fulfill his wish. But you haven't broken through. The Dark Red Dragon was worried. Besides, the Destiny twins are doing this to let you out. As long as you go out, regardless of the outcome, they will be able to find you. At that time, it will definitely be a fierce battle between the Heavenly Network and the people of Destiny Judgment. I know this. I will tell Qing Qing and ask her to invite the Phoenix clan to hold the line. So what if I haven't broken through? I can already feel the bottleneck. This battle is the opportunity. Maybe I can break through this battle. Lin Xian's eyes shone with an extremely cold light. There were still 5 days before the 1-month deadline. He had to hurry up. Let's go. With a wave of his hand, Lin Xian had made up his mind. He walked out of his home world. The demonic wings on his back opened and he flew into the distance at extreme speed. At the same time, he sent a message to Murong Qingqing, asking her to invite the experts of the Phoenix clan to hold the line for him. After Murong Qingqing received the message, she was worried at first. When she heard that Lin Xian was about to break through, she was worried. When he became the great sage, she was overjoyed. Lin Xian's current strength must have undergone an earth-shattering change. Brother Xian, don't worry. I will go and invite him now. Murong found her master, who was also the grand elder of the Phoenix clan. She was an old phoenix with white hair. She was an old woman. She usually planted flowers and fished. When she saw Murong Qingqing, she said with a smile, "Disciple, you haven't come to see me in a long time." Murong Qingqing said, "Master, you have to help me this time. If you don't help me, I can only look for the Queen Mother of the West." The old phoenix was surprised. "What is it that you have to invite the Queen Mother of the West and the rest? Are you going to use an extreme weapon?" Murong Qingqing said, "No need." She told him about Lin Xian's situation. The old phoenix laughed. "You little girl, so that's what you want? Don't worry. This old man also wants to see just how outstanding this Lin Wuti you mentioned is." His eyes were also shining with colorful light. "That's great." Murong Qingqing was overjoyed. With this old phoenix, even if the Fate clan's patriarch came personally, he wouldn't dare to touch Lin Xian. At the same time, she spread the news that Lin Xian would fight in a month's time. When the news came out, the world was in an uproar. The heavens were really going to fight. I said that Lin Wuti wouldn't be afraid. Cultivators of our generation wouldn't be afraid of a fight. Those who supported Lin Xian were all excited. Just watch, Lin Wuti will use his peerless divine ability to defeat Yin Hai. Yes, Lin Wuti could even injure the Dragon Prince, let alone Yin Hai. Let's see what true invincibility is. Chapter 51-34. The cheers for Lin Xian were too loud. His appearance excited everyone. However, some people snorted coldly. What an idiot. Who did he think he was? Even if he can defeat Yin Hai, can he avoid the judgment of fate? Just wait. This time he will die without a doubt. He actually wants to fight. The people of the Tianpeng clan were also shocked. This time even Bailey Wuck came out of seclusion. He wanted to watch the battle personally. The people of the Phoenix clan were even more surprised. Those genius elders and even the Phoenix clan leader were going to take action. Even Feng Jiu wanted to go this time. For a time, wind and clouds gathered in all directions. This time, the location of the battle was a mountain called the Heaven Battling Peak. It was very famous. Everyone gathered there. After the people of the Gemini clan received the news, they all sneered. Great. This kid is really an idiot. Does he really think he can win this time? Just wait. This is the time of his death. The people of the Gemini clan began to prepare. They were already heading over to gather the judgment of fate. Even Yun Hai had arrived at the Heaven Battling Peak ahead of time. He stood there and looked down at the surroundings. Lin Wuti, I will use your blood to become famous in the world. On the last day of a month. At this moment, the winds and clouds in all directions gathered. Countless experts and geniuses of the great sects and clans of the remote antiquity had gathered. They had already found a place to watch the battle. There was only one figure standing on the mountain in front of them. Is that Yin Hai? It is said that he is already 3,000 years old. It is unbelievable. He is so young. I can't tell at all. Discussions broke out one after another. The Divine Fire sect, Great Qing Peak, and the other sects that lost to him also had solemn expressions. They had fought with him before and naturally knew how terrifying he was. Bailey Wuck stood there and looked at him with a solemn expression. His opponent was indeed very strong, but he was not afraid. The people of the Phoenix clan also came. The Phoenix clan leader, Feng Jiu Murong Qingqing, and even a grand elder, the old Phoenix, came. His appearance greatly surprised the Phoenix clan leader. Even Feng Jiu went to greet the grand elder. The old Phoenix said with a smile, "There is no need to be so polite. I just came to see the rising invincible genius." The people of the Twin of Destiny clan had also come. On the surface there weren't many of them. Only the Fate clan leader, some elders and geniuses were present. In truth, they had hidden most of the army in the judgment of fate, waiting for the critical moment to kill with a single strike. Looking at the sun rising high in the sky, the Fate clan's leader sneered. "Still not here? I think you don't dare to come." The genius of the Destiny Gemini clan snorted. "Coward. What Lin Wuti? His title of Crown King belongs to our Yun Hai." Cold snorts could be heard one after another. At the Heaven Battling Peak, Yun Hai was expressionless as he waited patiently. Suddenly, his eyes lit up as he looked into the distance. The other elders and experts also looked into the distance. They could feel a powerful force coming towards them. In the next moment they saw a few black dots in the sky, streaking across like lightning. Lin Wuti. Bailey Wuck clenched his fists. Feng Jiu smiled. Murong Qingqing also became nervous. Is big brother Xian alright? When she saw Lin Xian descending like a god, she smiled happily. Lin Xian had arrived. Not only that, the toad, the dark red dragon, and Little White had also arrived. Beside him was a woman in a red robe. Her face was covered with a veil that concealed her appearance. It was Yunyu. Go and meet up with Murong Qingqing. Lin Xian said a few words. The dark red dragon and the others came to Murong Qingqing's side. If a battle really broke out, the Destiny Gemini clan wouldn't dare to attack these people. You are Lin Wudi? On the heaven battling peak, Yunhai looked at the young man in front of him and asked in a deep voice. That's right, I am. I heard that you dared to challenge me? I don't know where your courage came from. Lin Xian stepped in the air and descended. He also came to the peak and said indifferently. I am a merciful person and will give you a chance. Disappear in front of me immediately and I will spare your life. Spare my life? Ah. Yunhai sneered as if he had heard the funniest joke. Young man, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Even if you are strong and have the Emperor's talent, so what? I will tell you that the gap between the realms is insurmountable. Right now, I am very close to the Great Sage realm and even have the battle strength of a Great Sage. Will you be able to withstand it? Speaking until here, he snorted coldly and emitted a terrifying aura that swept out in all directions. It was vast and mighty, enveloping the entire heaven and earth. When the spectators felt this power, their bodies trembled and their scalps went numb. Heavens, this power! How could he have such a terrifying aura? He was actually hiding it before this. The experts from the Divine Fire sect and the Great Green Peak were also shocked. They realized that this was even more terrifying than when they were fighting. Bailey Wuck's face was gloomy. This power also shocked him. Even he didn't have much chance of winning. The Destiny Clan's patriarch also stood out and said loudly. Lin Wudi, this time you are purely competing with your own strength. You are not allowed to use other weapons. We know that you have the heaven-devouring jar. Do you dare not use it? Competing with your own strength? Fine, then I won't use any weapons including the heaven-devouring jar. Lin Xian said indifferently. Very good. The Destiny Clan's patriarch smiled. Yunhai shook his head. You are courting death. To be honest, even if you use the heaven-devouring jar, I still have a way to suppress you. Now, it is even simpler. Make your move, or you won't have a chance. The others were shocked. Is he really not going to use any weapons? They knew that Lin Xian's greatest reliance was the extreme-grade weapon, the heaven-devouring jar. Once that item was used, even if he couldn't win, he would at least have no problem keeping himself alive. Now that Lin Xian had lost his greatest reliance, would he be able to contend with Yunhai? Some of Lin Xian's supporters were angry. This is too despicable. Weapons are also part of one's strength. That's right, take out your weapon if you have the ability. However, no matter what, all of this couldn't be changed. You want me to make the first move? That's fine too. Lin Xian struck out with his palm. Overflowing divine flames engulfed the 9 heavens. The flames of extreme yang turned into a golden crow, covering the sky and the earth. Flames? Let me show you what is divine. Yunhai snorted coldly. Endless golden light appeared on his body, illuminating the 9 heavens. The surrounding people were so dazzled that they couldn't open their eyes. In the next moment, they saw a boundless golden palm descending from the sky. It was too terrifying. It was a divine palm. Countless people sucked in a breath of cold air. They naturally knew the ultimate theurgy of the Destiny Twins. However, they didn't expect that it would be so powerful when used by the other party. The people of the Destiny Twins were also surprised when they saw it. Chapter 5135. Looking at this terrifying palm, even Murong Qingqing, Yunyu, and the dark red divine dragon's expressions changed. Because this attack was really too terrifying, especially Yunyu. Yunyu was especially shocked. It seemed that Yunhai must have obtained an extremely powerful trump card. Otherwise, his strength wouldn't have become so terrifying. Between heaven and earth, the divine palm grabbed forward with the radiance of the great Tao. It wanted to suppress Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He roared angrily and took a step forward. His body was surrounded by extremely terrifying flames. He was like the god of the sun that wanted to burn the 9 heavens. The flames that filled the sky rushed toward the divine palm. The two collided with a shocking sound. Suppress him. Seeing that the other party had blocked his palm, Yunhai roared angrily, and the divine palm erupted with light again. A mysterious talisman appeared between the 5 fingers. It was an ancient primordial talisman that was abnormally terrifying. As soon as it appeared, the power of this divine ability increased exponentially. The 5 fingers seemed to have turned into divine arrows that pierced through the 9 heavens. It pierced through the divine flames, and then the huge palm wanted to refine Lin Xian. Light of purification. The primordial talisman in the palm erupted with a bright light that purified everything. Not good. Many people exclaimed. If they were enveloped by the light of purification, they would probably turn into a pile of bones. It's over. The corners of the twins of destiny's lips curled up. It seemed that they didn't need to use the judgment of destiny. The other party couldn't resist. Lin Xian snorted coldly. 6-path fist. He punched out, and around his fist, the illusion of 6 worlds was enveloped. Mysterious. As soon as this scene appeared, everyone was shocked. What kind of fist technique was this? It seemed to be able to pierce through the sky. It was too terrifying. As soon as the 6-path fist was punched out, it swept in all directions with an indomitable spirit and the power of the divine body. It collided with the other party's light of evolution. There was a rumbling sound between heaven and earth, and the endless void shattered. The blood of the surrounding people also surged. As expected of a top expert, these 2 people were fighting fiercely. The light of evolution was shattered by the 6-path fist, and even the 5 fingers shook violently. Devil's Fong. At this moment, Yunhai roared again. He would never give up on the advantage he had gained. 5 demon heads appeared on the sacred finger. Its fangs were exceptionally sharp and terrifying. The demon head bit at Lin Xian, wanting to tear him into pieces. This time, the power of the good and evil children erupted at the same time. The 2 opposing forces were perfectly fused together. His power had increased again. As expected of the young patriarch. This time, how was that Lin Wuti going to defend himself? The people of Fake Clan sneered. They had never seen Lin Xian in action before. Therefore they thought that Lin Xian was dead meat. However, the other experts had grave expressions on their faces. Lin Xian had defeated Flawless 100 miles before. Would he fall so easily? Looking at the 5 demon heads, Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, endless devil chi gathered in his left hand and formed the devil god seal. He slammed his palm forward. With one strike, one of the demon heads was smashed into pieces, turning into an aura of death that lingered between heaven and earth. A miserable cry was heard, causing Yunhai's expression to change. Damn it. The other 4 demon heads rushed over in a frenzy. Lin Xian continuously waved the devil god seal and smashed the other 4 demon heads. For a moment, Lin Xian was unstoppable. He swept in all directions, causing his opponent's palm to shake non-stop. Yunhai roared and suddenly closed his palm. At this moment, the void within his palm was completely shattered. Lin Wuti was hit. Seeing this scene, countless exclamations sounded. They were suppressed by this force. His body should have turned into a bloody mist long ago. Although he didn't die, he was still seriously injured. Kid, let's see how you die. I will refine you. Yunhai's lips curled into a smile again. However, not long after, the smile disappeared. Because a sonorous sound came from his palm. A huge force rushed towards his palm. Then one of his fingers was broken. Lin Xian used the 6 paths divine fist. After waving it millions of times in a row, he directly broke one of his fingers. Then he charged out forcefully. The laws of his body surrounded him and he was extremely powerful. Kill for me. He clasped his hands together and slashed out. A sharp sword chi descended and split the remaining palm into 2. How is this possible? The people of the Twin of Destiny race roared crazily. Such a terrifying divine ability was actually broken by the other party. What kind of power is this? The expressions of the other people changed drastically. It was too terrifying. It was indeed Lin Wuti. Bailey Wuck and the others had solemn expressions. They knew that the other party wouldn't be defeated so easily. After Lin Xian came out, sword chi surrounded his body. He smiled and said, "Is this all you have? You really disappoint me. If this is all you have, then it's over. This sharp-tongued kid has some strength. No wonder he can be conferred the title of king. Unfortunately, my trump card is not something you can imagine. Next, you have already angered me. Suffer my anger." Yunhai's eyes emitted an extremely terrifying light. His aura also changed. It was no longer divine. Instead, it became sinister and terrifying. It was as if he had transformed into the death god of hell. When his palm opened and closed, it was no longer the light of purification. Instead, it formed the 18 levels of hell. Each level was surrounded by evil spirits. It was abnormally sinister and terrifying. That aura caused the expressions of the surrounding people to change. Their souls trembled. The moment the 18 levels of hell appeared, the sky trembled and the void shattered. Kill. Yunhai roared angrily. His palm descended and the 18 levels of hell shattered. The void once again enveloped Lin Xian. This was not a weapon but a manifestation of a great divine ability. Could be said that it was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian raised his fist to resist. With a clang, the 6 paths fist smashed into the 18 levels of hell. The sky trembled. Endless sounds caused the ears of the surrounding people to bleed. The 18 levels of hell didn't move at all. They directly pressed down. Everyone was shocked. Was it so terrifying? They had witnessed how terrifying Lin Xian's fist was. But even so, there was nothing they could do. What kind of power was the 18 levels of hell? The people of the Twins of Destiny laughed again. This kid was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. He was really courting death. Yunhai snorted coldly. It's useless. You can't escape. Enter the 18 levels of hell and accept the punishment of death. Boom. The 18 levels of hell descended, enveloping Lin Xian. Everyone was shocked. However, at this moment, a phantom appeared behind Yunhai. Then a sword stabbed out. Between heaven and earth, everyone was shocked. What kind of sword technique was this? Even the powerhouses of the older generation felt their scalps go numb. Because they realized that under this sword, they couldn't dodge at all. Chapter 51-36. Who was it? He actually made a move at this time. Even the people of the Twin of Destiny clan shouted angrily. They wanted to help. However, at this time they were stunned. They found that the one who made the move was actually Lin Xian. Impossible, wasn't this kid suppressed in the 18 levels of hell? How could he still come out? An illusion. That was his afterimage just now. His speed was too fast. The people of the Thunder clan roared. They had fought with Lin Xian before, so they naturally knew his speed. It was even more terrifying than their thunderous footwork. Yunhai's pupils constricted. He felt a fatal danger coming from behind. He didn't know who it was, and he didn't have the chance to listen to the discussions of the people around him. At this moment, he roared and his body swayed, dodging the fatal danger. This sword pierced his shoulder, tearing a wound on his shoulder. He roared like an injured beast, turned around and slapped out. The terrifying aura turned his back into a black hole. However, he didn't hit Lin Xian. Instead, he appeared in another direction. Another sword. Azura sword technique, second sword. The shocking sword light was even more terrifying. Yunhai roared. This time, it pierced through his body, but it didn't pierce his heart. After the second sword, the third sword came again. This time, it was aimed at his glabella. He roared crazily, blocked with both hands and struck out with terrifying power. Half of his body was holy and the other half was dark. However, under this sword, his arms were cut off, and his whole body retreated. There was a crack between his eyebrows. It almost split his head in half. 3 sword strikes in a row happened in an instant. When the crowd reacted, they saw Yunhai retreating and was seriously injured. It was too fast. Everyone was in an uproar. What kind of speed was this? What kind of sword technique was this? It was a one-hit kill. It was terrifying to the extreme. At the same time, the people of the Phoenix clan were also amazed. This Yunhai was truly extraordinary. Even the experts of the older generation had died several times in his killing spree. Moreover, this Yunhai was not ordinary at all. Yunhai was only injured and his life wasn't in danger. They had to admit that the opponent was indeed very strong. Yunhai felt the pain coming from his body. He roared crazily. The blood in his body burned, quickly healing his injuries. He found that these injuries had an indestructible power that was difficult to erase. Damn it. An extremely powerful talisman appeared in the land of bloodline, forcibly healing his shattered body. His face turned pale. He didn't expect that healing his injured body would consume so much of his energy. This was too inconceivable. Even if he was severely injured by a saint, it shouldn't be so difficult for him to recover. There was a problem with this person's swordsmanship. In fact, each and every one of his moves carried an aura of invincibility. Damn brat, you've completely infuriated me. Yunhai formed a seal with his hands, and the phantoms of good and evil that he had summoned circled around him. At this moment, the entire sky was split into 2. Half of it was as dark as the devil, while the other half was as holy as the heavens. Everyone was terrified. They knew that Yunhai was completely enraged and was about to unleash his true ultimate skill. Countless people gasped in surprise. They didn't expect that the two sides would be able to fight for less than 100 moves. Was the victor going to be decided? The members of the Fate clan were excited. The Fate clan leader's eyes shone brightly. Yunhai, go ahead and let these people see your new ancestors' inheritance. Yunyu was shocked. The dark red divine dragon asked, "What's wrong?" Yunyu said that the good and evil that we summoned through cultivation are all illusions. But look, the one that Yunhai summoned is about to materialize. This meant that his bloodline had become very terrifying. His strength would probably increase a lot in the future. When the Crimson Divine Dragon and the others heard this, they sucked in a breath of cold air. They knew that if the good and evil phantoms weren't destroyed at the same time, it would be very difficult for Yunhai to fall. This was a very difficult battle. Kill. With a roar, Yunhai moved and punched out. The evil sun behind him also flew out. The fist turned into a hell dragon that covered the sky and was about to tear the 9 heavens apart. Lin Xian snorted coldly and slashed out with his sword. It turned into a black dragon that danced between heaven and earth. The two dragons clashed like two giant dragons, and a sonorous sound rang out. Between heaven and earth, the void shattered like a mirror. At this moment the second move came. With a palm strike, it seemed to have turned into heaven. Yunhai suppressed down with a supreme power. On the other side, the black dragon turned into a black mist. It condensed again and formed the 18 layers of hell. At this moment, Yunhai carried the power of heaven and hell and charged toward Lin Xian. He cut off his opponent's path. "Kit, I've evolved 2 worlds. So what if you're fast? Can you escape?" Oh no, this time Lin Wudi is in danger. The people of the Phoenix clan frowned and the people of the Thunder clan also laughed. It seemed that Yunhai was restraining the opponent's speed. Without speed, Lin Xian couldn't resist this power at all. Flawless 100 miles of the Heavenly Rock clan's eyes shone. "Lin Wudi, how are you going to resist?" He knew that weapons were not allowed in this battle, which also meant that Lin Xian couldn't use the heaven-devouring jar. Therefore he wanted to see what other trump cards Lin Wudi had. Looking at heaven and hell, he charged. Lin Xian stood there without moving. His expression was cold. His palms formed a seal and a black and white aura rotated in his hands. Then they turned into a Tai Chi diagram and rushed forward. Tai Chi turned into yin and yang, colliding with heaven and hell. Millions of thunder sounded. A storm formed between heaven and earth and countless people retreated frantically. At the same time they widened their eyes. Did he block it? How was this possible? The people of the Twin of Destiny clan were stunned. They didn't dare to believe it. The people of the Thunder clan were also stunned. This time Lin Xian didn't escape. The people of the Phoenix clan and the Heavenly Rock clan were also shocked. What was that? The power of yin and yang, he actually condensed it. The yin-yang diagram. They were too shocked. The power of yin and yang, the original power of heaven and earth turned into yin and yang. Shouldn't the diagram be Kun Peng Zi? Why was it Lin Xian? This guy actually had such a unique skill. Flawless 100 miles gritted his teeth. This kind of power, when he fought with him before, the other party didn't use it at all. In other words, the other party didn't use all his strength before. He gritted his teeth. On the other side, Feng Jiu's eyes also burst out with a cold light. Had another super powerful trump card appeared? This Lin Wudi not only had the aura of the dragon but also the power of yin and yang. The Phoenix clan leader also narrowed her eyes, shocked. Now she understood why Lin Xian wanted to attack the 4 Dharma Laksana avatars. He wanted to use the power of the good and evil twins to improve his yin-yang diagram. Between heaven and earth, hell and heaven were blocked. The yin-yang diagram kept spinning with a mysterious aura. Although it was small, the light it emitted was terrifying. "I've said it before, you can't do anything to me." Lin Xian's indifferent voice sounded. Chapter 5137. Damn it. The power of yin and yang. Yunhai was ferocious. He couldn't understand how his opponent could control such power. "I can't accept this." His crazy anger and bloodline power erupted, enveloping heaven and hell. Heaven gradually condensed and turned into an angel, grabbing at the front. On the other side, hell also turned into a grim reaper, moving quickly. The angel's palm and the grim reaper's palm grabbed the yin-yang diagram, trying to tear it apart. The Fate clan is the ancestor of this power of yin and yang. What do you have to fight me? I will prove to you that you are vulnerable in front of me. Break from me. Yunhai roared crazily, and his terrifying aura tore the whole world apart. The yin-yang diagram also shook violently as if it would break at any time. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and an extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes. You. Well, I will let you see my true means today. Lin Xian circulated the dragon soul's aura in his body. Open. With an angry roar, the yin-yang diagram slowly opened. Great, it was torn apart. The twins of fate sneered. This time the opponent's foundation was damaged. The other's scalps went numb. Could it be that Lin Wuti was defeated in the battle of yin and yang? It seemed to be the case. The people of the Tianping clan shook their heads and sighed. If they wanted to compete with the power of yin and yang, only the real Kunpeng clan could compete with the Fate clan. Unless Kunpeng Zi came, he would be able to suppress Yun Hai. Feng Jiu frowned, and Murong Qingqing and the others were also nervous. However, at this time Murong Qingqing laughed, and the others widened their eyes. They found that Lin Xian was not injured, and the yin-yang diagram was not broken. Instead, there was a shocking change. On one side, endless light bloomed, turning into flames of the 9 heavens and condensing into a figure. Wearing golden armor and holding a golden divine sword, he turned into a yang god. On the other side, the aura of death was monstrous, condensing into a black spear. He turned into a yin god. Kill. Lin Xian formed a seal behind him. The yang god roared, holding the 9 yang divine sword, and attacked the archangel. On the other side, Yin Shin wielded the spear of death and charged towards death god. The 4 phantoms fought fiercely between heaven and earth. The power of yin and yang erupted and swept through the 9 heavens. All sorts of laws danced in the air, and the terrifying radiance caused the world to tumble. Everyone was stunned when they saw this scene. How was this possible? The people of the Destiny Gemini clan didn't dare to believe it. Even their patriarch had gone crazy. The only reason they could do this was because they had the good and evil twins. What right does the other party have? Could it be that the other party also had this bloodline? Yunyu was also dumbfounded. At this moment, fear emerged in his heart. The more time she spent with Lin Xian, the more she found him to be unfathomable. It was as if even gods could not contend against him. Damn it, Yun Hai urged the Archangel and the Grim Reaper to attack wildly. However, the Yang God and the Yin God were even more terrifying. Lin Xian had devoured the power of the 4 Dharma manifestations, and the laws of Yin and Yang were terrifying. In addition to the Yang God and the Yin God, which were originally created by using the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul. His every move was filled with boundless power. The 2 sides exchanged 100 moves, and the 9 Yang Divine Swords split the Archangel apart with a single slash. On the other side, the Spear of Death also pierced through the Grim Reaper. Was the victor decided? Countless people exclaimed. Yun Hai kept vomiting blood, her face became pale, and cracks appeared on her body. Was she defeated? Damn it. Lin Xian strode over and slapped her away, saying coldly, "You're not my opponent at all. You dare to be arrogant in front of me? Do you have the qualifications to challenge me?" As he spoke, he continuously punched. The 6-path fist forced her to retreat. Damn it. How dare you? The Destiny clan's patriarch roared crazily when he saw this scene. He took a step forward and a terrifying aura pressed down. As the patriarch of a clan, his strength was terrifying. At this moment, the surrounding spectators couldn't help but kneel on the ground. Not good. Is the Destiny clan going to attack? Countless terrified voices could be heard. On the Phoenix clan side, Murong Qingqing hurriedly looked at the Old Phoenix. Old Phoenix sighed, "It's best that you don't interfere in the battle of the young." His voice carried a terrifying aura, causing the pressure in the sky to disappear. "Who dares to interfere with me?" The Destiny clan's patriarch roared and turned around. The next moment he saw an old man and his soul shook. "It's you?" Damn it, the other party actually invited the Old Phoenix of the Phoenix clan. This made him feel like he was facing a great enemy. The dark red divine dragon also jumped out. "Destiny clan, you're the one who set the challenge, why are you slapping your own face now?" The toad also sneered, "It's a one-on-one battle, if the young can't do it, the old will come out? Do you think we're not prepared?" A cold laugh sounded. The Destiny twins were about to vomit blood, and Yun Hai also roared. "Father, don't interfere, I'll do it myself, I haven't lost yet." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were shocked. "Haven't lost yet? Yun Hai, do you still have the strength to fight?" Yun Hai roared, and the good and evil phantom condensed again. The others were also amazed. It was too terrifying. Only the twins of Destiny had such combat prowess. "You're still not dead after suffering such heavy injuries." The Thunder Clan's people shook their heads. The Destiny twins will only die when they both die, otherwise they are immortal. It's impossible for Lin Wuti to kill the other party. On the contrary, if Yun Hai is really determined to exhaust Lin Xian, he might really be able to turn the tables. Lin Xian coldly snorted, "What, you're not going to admit defeat? Then I'll kill you until you admit defeat." He continued to urge the Yin god and Yang god to kill. "Damn it, I don't believe you're stronger than me." Yun Hai gritted his teeth. The other party is only a holy king and he is a great sage. The combat strength of both sides is about the same. But the difference in cultivation is much, and this difference in cultivation. That's the difference in strength. The other party's combat strength is strong, but the time he can last is definitely too much. This is the difference in cultivation. He can exhaust the other party to death. But this time he was really wrong. He didn't know that Lin Xian has a powerful world in his body that provides resources. It can be said that his strength will never be exhausted. In this way, Yun Hai was chased for 3 days, and the good and evil ones have been destroyed hundreds of times. The aura of Lin Xian's Yang god and Yin god didn't weaken at all. Yun Hai went crazy. Damn it, how is this possible? How can the other party have so much strength? Not to mention him, the surrounding experts also couldn't believe it. Bailey Wuck and Feng Jiu also frowned. Did Lin Wudi secretly eat a pill? They carefully observed every detail, but they didn't find anything. It seems that you have no more trump cards. Then I'll send you on your way. Lin Xian's eyes emitted an extremely terrifying light. He was ready to end this battle. Damn it. Chapter 5138. Twin Souls. Yun Hai's body was stained with blood, but his eyes were unusually cold. A terrifying bloodline power surged out. The good and evil twins had completely materialized at this moment. Oh heavens, what did he summon? Countless people were shocked. Twin souls. In the distance, Yun Yu also exclaimed. He actually obtained such an inheritance? Murong Qingqing said. Is it very powerful? Yun Yu's expression was cold. This was the method of the Fate Ancestor. It was equivalent to borrowing the power of the Fate Ancestor through space. As soon as these words came out, Murong Qingqing's face became solemn. The dark red dragon and the toad next to her also had cold expressions. This was already very dangerous. One had to know that they couldn't use weapons now, which was equivalent to not being able to use many of their trump cards. Now that the other party had used such a powerful technique, it was really dangerous. Why do I feel that the good and evil statue seems to have been resurrected? It actually has the aura of a soul. The surrounding experts were also shocked. The experts of the Heavenly Rock clan and the Phoenix clan also gasped. This method was too incredible. The Destiny twins were so excited that they were about to kneel on the ground. Great, they felt the message of the Fate Ancestor. The Fate Ancestor had descended through space. Yun Hai also felt a powerful force. This force had completely surpassed his own. He laughed wildly. Kid, go to hell. He slapped out with his palm. Monstrous power swept through heaven and earth. The two figures that were summoned behind him were like two real great sage. They were extremely powerful. They soared into the sky and charged forward. In an instant, Lin Xian spat out blood and flew backward. Even the Yin and Yang spirits that he had summoned were instantly torn apart. He was injured. Lin Wudi was actually injured. Countless voices of discussion sounded. Murong Qingqing and the others were extremely nervous. Brat, did you see that? Do you think you can withstand my true trump card? Now go to hell for me. Yun Hai struck out with his palm once again. Monstrous laws raged within his palm. Lin Xian's pupils shrank and he quickly retreated. The place where he was originally standing was instantly shattered, and he vomited another mouthful of blood. It was over. This time Lin Wudi was really in danger. The surrounding people could see that after using the Gemini souls they were all shocked. Yun Hai had already used a powerful force from the alternate dimension. Although it wasn't his own power, it didn't violate the rules. The rules only said that weapons could not be used. They did not say that the power of summoning could not be used. Just like that, Yun Hai continued to attack, chasing after Lin Xian. He laughed out loud like a victor. The members of the Twin of Destiny clan also laughed. It was only a matter of time before Lin Wudi fell. Yun Hai was just playing a game of cat and mouse. Another palm shot out. It was like a raging wave crashing against the shore. The rumbling sound spread out for a long time. Lin Xian retreated. The longevity indestructible war armor appeared on his body to repair itself. It's useless, kid. Stop resisting. You're no match for me. Kneel down obediently and I'll give you a quick death. Lin Xian's expression was cold, but then he smiled. Twin souls? It's not your power at all. So what? I can summon this power. He's mine. If you have the ability, you can summon him too. Otherwise, I'll let you know what regret is. Do you think I won't? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Next, I'll let you experience what a real summon is. He formed a seal with his palms, and the demonic qi on his body quickly swept out. Yunhai was stunned, then he laughed out loud. Who do you think you are? You don't have a powerful family. You don't have an ancestor. Where can you summon power? The others were also puzzled. What was this guy trying to do? The members of the Twin of Destiny clan also snorted disdainfully. In their opinion, no matter what the other party did, he couldn't escape death. The demonic qi on Lin Xian's body became more and more terrifying. It condensed behind him, forming a shadow. The shadow was very blurry, but as soon as it appeared, it erupted with an ancient and mysterious aura. It caused the surrounding sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Even the virtuous one and the evil one let out a roar. Their expressions became extremely uneasy. What kind of power was this? The members of the Twin of Destiny clan roared crazily. They felt that something was wrong. Yunhai's pupils also shrank. Damn it, he knew that he had underestimated the other party. The other party could actually summon a mysterious existence. He definitely wouldn't allow the other party to use this power. With a furious roar, it rushed over like a bolt of lightning. The good twin's body bloomed with light, causing the sun in the sky to lose its brilliance. He held the scepter in his hand and struck out a shocking blow. On the other side, the evil twin also charged over. The aura on the other side made people's hearts tremble. The terrifying power made people despair. The strongest attack, destroy for me. Yunhai roared angrily. In an instant he arrived in front of Lin Xian. Two kinds of power enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and the demonic shadow behind him moved. He extended a finger and pointed in front of him. That finger instantly materialized. Boom. With a point of his finger, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. A heaven-shaking sound rang out, and the void in front and around instantly shattered. It turned into darkness. The good twin and the evil twin were sent flying, and endless cracks appeared on their bodies. Then they collapsed. Yunhai was pierced through by the finger, and a bloody hole appeared on his body. He kept screaming in the air. The surrounding spectators were shocked when they saw this scene, especially the Destiny clan. They couldn't believe it. How was this possible? Yunhai Dong was using the power of the Destiny clan's ancestor. Although there was only a little, the twin souls were extremely terrifying. Even a saint couldn't resist it. However, the other party had managed to block it and even managed to shatter it. How did he do it? The Destiny clan leader gritted his teeth and roared. Impossible. What was that demonic shadow behind the other party? No. I don't believe it. I won't lose. Yunhai roared. His expression was ferocious. Could it be that he was still defeated after using his strongest trump card? He attacked again. The demonic shadow behind Lin Xian attacked again. Demonic God Seal. A huge seal attacked and completely suppressed him. He was pressed down in the sky by a huge black mountain. He roared crazily trying to escape. However, Lin Xian attacked again. The demonic shadow behind him struck out the demonic god finger again and pointed at his glabella. This demonic shadow was too terrifying. Yunhai was summoned by force, and it was the power of the Destiny clan's ancestor. But Lin Xian's demon summoning scripture was even more mysterious. No matter how powerful the Destiny clan's ancestor was, he wasn't a great emperor. And the demon summoning scripture was created by a great emperor. Lin Xian guessed that the demonic shadow behind him was most likely the phantom of a great emperor. The power of a great emperor was definitely supreme, so under this finger Yunhai was completely killed. His body fell from the sky. Lin Xian took the other party's storage ring. Chapter 5139. Everyone was shocked when Yunhai was destroyed. The Twin of Destiny clan went crazy. They couldn't accept this result. Yunhai had received the inheritance of the ancestor and possessed the twin souls, but he still died. What exactly was this Lin Wudi summoned? Damn it, was he already so terrifying? The people of the Thunder clan went crazy. The people of the Heavenly Peng clan sucked in a breath of cold air. Even the Phoenix clan had solemn expressions. The dark red divine dragon and the others laughed out loud. The toad jumped out and said, "How is it? Weren't you very arrogant before? You even dared to challenge us? Now continue." The dark red divine dragon sneered. An ant was an ant. Even if it was summoned, the power that didn't belong to it was still unable to withstand a single blow. A smile appeared on Murong Qingqing's face. Great. Brother Xian was fine. She was relieved. Yunyu was shocked. Even the twin souls couldn't do anything to the other party? This time he felt despair. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to defeat the other party even if he cultivated for the rest of his life. Damn it, you dare to hurt our young patriarch. On the side of the Twin of Destiny clan, a few elders were instantly enraged. They rushed over. Lin Xian shouted coldly. The demonic shadow behind him had yet to disappear. He pointed out a finger. It was as if a demonic sword had descended. Instantly the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The two elders vomited blood and flew out. Their bodies shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Lin Xian snorted coldly. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. A cold voice sounded. The people of the Destiny clan trembled in despair. Were their elders unable to withstand a single blow? The two elders were even more alarmed. Previously they had only seen this finger. Now that they had personally experienced it, they trembled in fear. However, the Destiny clan's patriarch stood out. Lin Wuti, you dare to kill my son? Go to hell for me. He was really crazy. The previous attack was so fast that he didn't even have time to react. Moreover, he never thought that Yunhai would actually die. One had to know that even if Yunhai was defeated, it was impossible for him to die with the twin souls. So now that Yunhai had died, he couldn't bear it. By the time he reacted, it was already too late. He could only kill the brat in front of him to avenge Yunhai. Stepping forward, the power inside his body exploded and swept across all 9 heavens and all 10 hells. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. Their heads were about to split open. They were terrified. Was the Fate clan leader going to make a move himself? That was the head of a clan. His strength far surpassed Yunhai's. Lin Xian also felt a chill run down his spine. Even if he had the devil shadow behind him, he still wouldn't be able to compete with the Fate tribe's appearance. Murong Qingqing's expression changed. He looked at the old phoenix. The old phoenix walked out and waved her hand. A simple and unadorned phoenix phantom covered the sky and blocked the other party's aura of destiny. He said coldly, "As the leader of a clan, how could you be so despicable?" The previous duel had been a fair one. Yunhai's death could only be attributed to his inferior skills. If you want to make a move and break the rules, you have to ask for my permission first. The old phoenix's voice was abnormally terrifying. The Fate clan leader was instantly frozen. He gritted his teeth. If I don't make a move, do you think it won't die? He was definitely going to die today. The Fate clan leader waved his hand. In all directions, the wind and clouds shattered, and 100 figures appeared. A holy angel and 99 hunters surrounded Lin Xian from all directions. Feeling the terrifying aura around them, the surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. They really didn't expect such a terrifying existence to exist. The people of the Heavenly Rock clan exclaimed. Fate adjudication, they really came. The others were shocked. Previously they had guessed that the Fate clan would definitely not let this go. Now they even brought along Fate adjudication. This was an invincible force. Even a sage would not be able to escape death. Now that Fate adjudication had made its move, could Lin Xian withstand it? How dare you? The phoenix roared and was about to make a move. However, the Fate clan leader said, I respect you as a senior. Since you're holding me back, I'm your opponent. He shot out an extremely terrifying phantom and blocked the old phoenix. Fate adjudication's move was too fast. It made its move in an instant. A holy angel's light and 99 death sides covered the sky and the earth. Everyone was stunned. It's over. This Lin Wuti is definitely going to die. Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a boom, an earth-shattering sound rang out. 3 vortexes appeared around him and surrounded him to absorb the power. However, he was still forced back, his blood and chi churning. It's useless. Lin Wuti, even if you have the heaven-devouring jar, you won't be able to escape death today. The scepter in the holy angel's hand was a legendary holy weapon. At this moment, after it was activated, it carried a mysterious power. The 99 hunters used their bloodline power to wield another saint artifact. They condensed into a terrifying death scythe. Lin Xian's situation was extremely dangerous. Vortexes appeared around Lin Xian. They slowly disappeared. He stood in the void. Everyone looked at this scene with great excitement. What's going on? Did Lin Wuti give up on using the heaven-devouring jar? Could it be that he knew that he was going to die? Ah! The people of the Fate clan sneered. This time they must tear him into pieces. The heaven-devouring jar was theirs. Lin Xian's voice was cold. Fate's judgment, punishing others, controlling their fate. I want to see if you can control my fate. Lin Xian's eyes erupted with an extremely terrifying aura. A Tai Chi diagram appeared around him and kept spinning. The good and evil aura of the Sea of Clouds was also absorbed by the Tai Chi diagram. Lin Xian felt that his law of yin and yang had reached a limit. With a boom, an extremely terrifying power appeared in his body. In the sky, thunderclouds gathered and emitted an extremely terrifying aura. What's going on? Everyone was stunned. They looked up at the sky. Flawless Bailey exclaimed. He was going to break through and become the great sage. Fengjie was also shocked. Top geniuses like them were all at the peak of the Holy King realm. No one had entered the great sage yet. Could it be that Lin Wuti was going to be the first to become the great sage? If that was the case, then he would be above everything. Damn it! Stop him. When the Fake Clan's leader saw this, he roared crazily. The Holy Angel waved his hand and activated the powerful Holy Scepter. The other people crazily activated the Death Scythe and slashed down mercilessly. At this moment, a bolt of thunder streaked across the sky and directly sent the Holy Scepter and Death Scythe flying. The Holy Angel and 99 hunters were also sent flying while vomiting blood. The other people's blood was boiling. Many of them directly knelt on the ground. What's going on? At this moment, even the Heavenly Rock Clan's leader and the Phoenix Clan's leader's expression changed drastically. They felt a fatal threat. Chapter 5140. There was an extremely terrifying power between heaven and earth. It was as if an ancient beast had been resurrected. The terrifying aura made everyone's hair stand on end. At this moment they looked up at the sky and saw thunder condensing. Not good, he was about to break through. Someone was about to undergo tribulation. Angry roars came one after another. It was definitely not someone else. It was Lin Xian. Was this Lin Wuti going to undergo tribulation at this time? Stop him quickly. The Destiny Clan leader roared. The Holy Angel and 99 hunters attacked crazily. They used their ultimate killing moves. However, at this moment the sky suddenly turned red like a sea of blood. A red thunder fell directly. Everyone vomited blood and flew out. There were even more than a dozen hunters who instantly turned into blood mist. What happened? Everyone was stunned. The Phoenix Clan leader's face changed drastically. The red thunder was heaven's punishment. Damn it, let's go. He waved his hand and led the Phoenix Clan to retreat crazily. Not only him. The Sky Rock Clan leader and other experts who were watching the battle all retreated. Thunder tribulation and heaven's punishment were two different things. Thunder tribulation was a heaven's punishment that was produced when one was undergoing tribulation. It was produced by the heavenly Tao. It was the strongest punishment in the entire universe. Those who attracted heaven's punishment would definitely die. It was a person that heaven and earth could not tolerate. Damn it, how could it be heaven's punishment? The Destiny Clan leader was also dumbfounded. He no longer dared to fight against the old Phoenix. He frantically led his people to retreat. The old Phoenix also retreated far away, his brows tightly knitted together. He really could not understand. How could a top genius like Lin Wuti, a young great emperor, attract heaven's punishment? Damn it, he was about to break through. The dark red divine dragon and the others' faces also changed. They were all worried for Lin Xian because they knew that Lin Xian was an abandoned immortal. Every time he broke through, he would have to accept heaven's punishment unless he entered the sword world. But now, he seemed to want to borrow the power of heaven's punishment to fight against the enemy. The old Phoenix came here and asked Murong Qingqing. Murong Qingqing simply said a few words. The old Phoenix was surprised. It was an abandoned immortal. That was too unbelievable. A person who had been abandoned by immortals was actually able to reach this step. The Phoenix Clan leader was not in the mood to care about these things right now. She quickly left with her people. Murong Qingqing was worried. The old Phoenix said, "You said that he has a way. If you stay here you will attract God's punishment. Leave quickly." Murong Qingqing nodded. She knew that Lin Xian had a way to deal with Sky Law. Therefore he also retreated and left. At this moment, everyone around the heaven battling peak had disappeared. Within 10 million miles, not a single human figure could be seen. Those demonic beasts also fled one after another. Everyone was watching from afar. However, what was surprising was that after the initial explosion of the heavenly punishment's terrifying power, it gradually weakened. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? Could it be that Lin Wuti was killed by a heavenly punishment? They didn't understand, but no one dared to go. There were still remnants of thunderclouds in the sky, as if they were searching for a target. If they went over at this time, they would immediately be beaten to death. Therefore everyone was waiting. In the void below the heavenly punishment, Lin Xian had already disappeared. A black vortex swallowed him. Lin Xian entered the sword world and dodged the heavenly punishment's attack. After entering, he began to break through with all his might. This time there was no thunder in the sky. Instead, flames appeared in all directions. It appeared out of nowhere and set him ablaze. Lin Xian was shocked. What was going on? What were these flames? He felt that his 9-yang divine fire was countless times stronger. It caused his 9-yang divine body to crack in an instant. The Hellfire Dragon saw this and quickly retreated. He shouted from afar, "Brat, hold on. This is called tribulation fire." It was the same as lightning tribulation. Why was there no lightning tribulation? Lin Xian was puzzled. He resisted and asked, "What do you know?" The Hellfire Dragon said, "It has something to do with the world you are in. The specific explanation is too long. I guess you don't have the patience to listen. You know, when you reach the level of the great sage and enter this world after breaking through, it will be tribulation fire." Lin Xian could no longer hear anything because the pain from the flames was so intense that he was about to faint. Damn it. He didn't expect that breaking through to the great sage would be such a terrifying tribulation. He roared crazily and blocked with all his might. One moment, the law was overflowing, and the next moment, a terrifying demonic aura swept through. At this moment, the sword world was truly filled with a myriad of changes. The last flame completely enveloped Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body was shattered. However, when a new body was condensed, it emitted a crystal-clear radiance. An even more terrifying flame aura filled the air. This shocked Lin Xian. This tribulation fire lasted for half a year. Lin Xian's body experienced countless shattering. Finally, on this day, the tribulation fire that filled the sky disappeared, and his body completely recovered. The aura around his body became terrifying. He broke through. In such a short time, the Hellfire Dragon was surprised. Originally, he thought that it would take at least 3 years. But now, it was completed in just half a year. The 4 spirit beasts of the 4 Spirit Valley were even more shocked. What a terrifying aura. Why do I feel a wave of divine might? Their bodies began to sway. Lin Xian also raised the corner of his mouth. He now felt that he had unlimited power with just a raise of his hand. Right now, his fighting strength was 10 times stronger than before. In other words, his previous opponents such as Yun Hai and Bailey Wuck, if they did not improve, they would not be his opponent at all. He could easily kill them. He could even fight against the Holy Lord without any problems. This was the increase in strength brought to him by breaking through. Great Lin Xian was overjoyed. It seemed that he could return to the sacred origin ancient city. Long Huangzi, just you wait. I will personally take care of you. If the Dragon Prince did not break through, then he would have already surpassed the Dragon Prince. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's figure flashed and walked out of the sword world. When he came out, the aura around his body changed. It was no longer so terrifying. On the contrary, it had weakened a lot. It seemed that the average great sage was weaker. What was going on? Lin Xian was surprised. The Hellfire Dragon's voice came out. It's normal. The outside world is a lightning tribulation. You are going through a fire tribulation. These are 2 different paths. Therefore, your aura in the outside world will become different. What about strength? Lin Xian asked. His strength would not be suppressed, right? The Hellfire Dragon said. Don't worry, his strength was not suppressed at all. Hearing this, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. His strength did not change. It was just a change in aura. There was no problem at all. Let's go. His figure flashed and he flew towards the Phoenix clan. Now he was going to meet up with Murong Qingqing and the others. The sky punishment in the sky also slowly disappeared. Those people thousands of miles away were shocked. Half a year had passed. The experts and patriarchs of the various sects had all returned. However, every clan and sect had sent some people to investigate. Once there was a change here, they would immediately report it. Now, these people in charge of investigating were shocked. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.